Hello, listeners and readers of AwardsWatch.com. This is the AwardsWatch Podcast, episode 223. I'm Executive Editor Ryan McQuade. Joining me today is a full house of contributors today, including our Editor-in-Chief, Erik Anderson.
A full house. You can call me Mary Kate and Ashley.
Well, they're never together at the same time. That's the John Oliver theory. Our Associate Editor, Sophia Ciminello.
Hi, guys.
And our contributors, Dan Bayer.
Hit the road, Jack.
And Josh Parham.
Hello, hello.
Everyone's real excited because we're not talking about 2024 anymore. No more,
Thank God.
No more 2023, 2024 Oscars.
Yay.
All those are done. But we are in a time machine today, and we're going all the way back 20 years. Can't believe it's 20 years since this ceremony. To the 2005 ceremony, but the year of 2004 for the movies, for the 77th Annual Academy Awards. Pretty formative year, I think, once again, for a lot of us. And we like to do these retrospective Oscar episodes after the Oscars are done. Gives us a lot of time to do some homework, to catch up on some things we haven't seen in a long time, maybe some blind spots, and correct some wrongs by the Academy. We got a fun, exciting way we're going to be doing that later today that the team is super 100% on board for and didn't get mad at me when we started getting on the Zoom earlier today. The fire in Josh Parham's eyes has been of 1,000 suns, and but he'll get over it. We'll have a fun. It'll be fine, Josh. It'll be fine. It's okay.
I'm sure it will be.
Yeah.
This is some Putin-esque propaganda.
There you go. So the 77th Annual Academy Awards, 2004. Where was everybody in 2004? And what were your film tastes?
Freshman year, high school, 2004.
Right. There's Josh. Sophia?
I was 11, so This was a formative movie year for me in many ways, but it really was, I think, like one of the earliest years where I was very into the Oscars. Wouldn't see all of the movies, but was very into predicting and hearing from my parents what they would think would win. So I'm excited to talk about this year.
Do you remember seeing any of the Oscar films in the theater?
Yeah, so I saw The Aviator with my mom and my grandma. I remember seeing that one. Otherwise, though, not too many of them in the theater this year. I did see, so of the Best Picture nominees, The Aviator and Finding Neverland were two that I saw in theaters. And then the rest of them I watched later on, or again, would just kind of hear from people here and there, oh, you need to watch this one. And I was, again, very plugged into the race without having seen very many. The Incredibles, of course, I had seen. And I did see Before Sunset, which was another formative year movie for me.
Dan, where were you?
I was in my sophomore and junior year of college in 2004, so I didn't get to see a lot of the non-summer or non-awards season-y movies in theaters because obviously I was focused on other things. But the ones that I really remember seeing from this year in theaters that I remember not just myself loving, but everyone around me loving were Closer. Went with all of my fellow theater majors because it was a major adaptation and we all were just living for everybody in that movie and everything that they were doing. I remember seeing Sideways in the theater and thinking oh, these critics really, they have very low bars for what they think is groundbreaking screenwriting. That's interesting. And the other one that I remember seeing at the end of the year in theaters was Finding Neverland because that was what the family wanted to see. And you know what? At the time, that is a Miramax movie. Okay,
Yes, yeah.
That is a Miramax.
That is a good description for it. It is the most Miramax of Miramax movies. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And there were two.
It's
the
definitely
chocolat of its year for
It
sure.
was, yeah. It was definitely that.
Yeah, and there were two movies that I remember being surprised that I really enjoyed watching them, and I don't think I think this one I saw on video, but I remember loving Collateral
Hell yeah.
a lot.
Hell yeah.
an initial release. And the other one that I was very passionate about that I did see in the theaters was Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That
Yep.
is just like the best movie of the decade. So
Of the decade?
spoilers. Yes.
I don't know about that, but I love that truth for you. I saw Erik. Where were you?
I'm pretty sure I was home.
Bottom of a hole?
I was actually going to be at a friend's house out of state, and then that fell through. So I think I just watched it at home.
The Oscars?
But,
Are you talking about every movie that year?
Oh, I watched everything. I was 33 years old.
Just 33?
So I was,
Okay.
Don't
You
I will.
You lying a little bit?
You dare.
Okay. Anyway. Well, do you have memorable theatrical experiences other than that? It looks like you're like half awake right now, for God's sakes.
No, I'm just like I said, because of the spring of information of the part that we're going to do, the game at the end. I'm kind of like scrambling.
He's scrambling.
A list together.
Yeah.
No, this was it was a good year in memory, but I had favorites that I think we'll end up talking about when we get to that list, because so many of them are not on the nominations list.
Yeah.
There were a handful that I really did like. I did love The Incredibles. I love Collateral. I really actually love $1 Million Baby a lot. I don't know if I have to be an apologist for it or not.
You can say your truth, and just like Dan,
I really
with
loved
Eternal, it's one of your favorite films of the decade. Also, as well. No, I'm just
It
kidding.
is
I don't know.
not that. No.
No, it's really weird that like Clint got a second full on embrace by the Academy, like a little bit more than 10 years after. Some directors don't get that.
No, you had, Martin Scorsese sitting there.
Yeah, literally.
While
At the
Eastwood
time, he's
is,
like, I'm not even getting one. Clint's getting round 2.
Yeah.
That's
That
something.
was certainly a choice.
It was.
Not saying it was the wrong one, but it was a choice.
But yeah, I remember I saw, this was again another one of those years. I was 12. I saw all the Best Picture nominees in theaters. I saw a lot of these movies like like Hotel Rwanda and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and I saw Collateral, and God, that was a fun experience watching Collateral and watching like Tom Cruise play a bad guy, like a really bad guy, and Closer, and just being like, God, all these people suck. And but then like Motorcycle Diaries, I remember watching that in theaters, and everybody saw The Incredibles. Like it was one of the most popular films of the year. And I remember my dad taking me out of school early, and we saw it at like 3:00 on a Friday, and it was still packed, and we were in like the second row for that movie. It took me a couple of years to finally see Vera Drake and some other films that I think are incredible. Saw all the animated films, so we saw clearly the masterpieces that were The Incredibles. Shrek 2, right? Everybody loves Shrek 2.
And Shark Tale, the year's
Shark
best
Tale
Scorsese movie.
Well, I wouldn't go that
Scorsese.
far. I wouldn't go that far. I would not go that far.
I mean, that movie was my first introduction to Martin Scorsese.
Really?
Well, Shark Tale came out before The Aviator, so yeah.
Well, like,
Oh my God.
wait, you're talking about like that's like the first movie with Martin Scorsese
I mean, I'm being a little
around.
tongue in cheek.
Like you didn't watch any at home at that time? Like
I mean, at that point, not particularly. Like this year is actually really important to me because it is the first. It's not the first year that I watched the Oscars, but it is the first one that I really paid attention to the award season because of the previous year. So. Yeah, Phantom. I feel like was my number one anticipated of the entire year. But yeah, I watched all the Best Picture nominees. I was going through the Entertainment Weekly.
The Bible.
The Bible.
Yep, literally would cross off the movies that they were mentioning, like with a piece of pen and paper, just to go through that list. So like this was the year that I was fully converted into an Oscar watcher.
Oh yeah. That was I remember it was like when that came in the mail, it was on. It was like, okay, this is really when the Oscars begin. Now it's like whenever Erik says like, it's year round, or we got to talk about it on a podcast, or talk about it in May when I do predictions. And it's like, no, it was when that thing came out, and I loved it. And it was like all broken down by month. And then they went over all the films that could be nominated or dark horse contenders.
We used to be a country.
Yeah, we used to.
Yes, we used to be a proper country.
Yeah,
We used to have
this was the year
real
I got
journalism.
Entertainment Weekly. This was my first year getting it. I ordered it in the school magazine sale.
I forget. I think
There are fewer gateways than Entertainment Weekly for Oscar watchers. That was
True.
that was the pot of award season.
Yeah.
I remember every week going to my bookstore on campus, like the college bookstore, and reading the Entertainment Weekly there, because naturally I was not getting my subscription at college.
He was just ripping out pages and putting it back on them, and then he was
absolutely.
Dan was putting Entertainment Weekly inside of like the chemistry book so that nobody would see it.
Like Grace Kelly and
I was putting it inside the Playboy that everyone thought I was reading.
But yeah, Erik, you kind of alluded to it. I think 2004, looking at the year as a whole, it's a very interesting year just of releases. You have these just, in terms of just like, if we want to play the first game of today, I'd like us all to, I have the top 10 in front of me, but the top 10 worldwide box office, I think it's actually a really fascinating top 10. So you guys can all play this together and help each other out like you normally do. And can you guys tell me the top 10 films that were of the worldwide box?
2,
Shrek 2 was the number one. It was almost
Shrek
$1
2.
billion.
Dan, play as a
Potter
team.
and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yep.
Yes. So Spider-Man, yes. Shrek 2, like Erik said, was number one. And Harry Potter, and Prisoner of Azkaban.
Incredibles. Yeah.
Incredibles.
That's the top 4. Yeah, that's top 4.
Shark Tale.
Yep, that was number 9.
Ooh,
Oh yeah,
The
that's
Passion of the
animated-
Christ.
Passion of the Christ was number 5.
Oh my god, that
Yeah.
was like $600 or $700
was such a
million dollars.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, that was a
$611 million, which is insane.
If that had been a year of 10, that's probably a Best Picture nominee.
Easily.
I mean, yeah.
I
The
know.
Sound
What
of
else was
Freedom
this-
wishes.
So there's four others. You'd have 6, 7, 8, and 10.
Well, Ocean's 12.
Ocean's
right?
12 was number
Oh,
10.
yeah.
That was
Meet
300
the Fockers.
Meet the Fockers was number 7. That made $522 million.
Wow.
Wait,
which
what
is
was
insane.
the big act? Day After Tomorrow.
That was
right?
number 6. That was $552 million. And that was the last time Jake Gyllenhaal had a box office draw.
It will not be the last time his name is mentioned in this podcast.
Sure. It might be. And then number 8. It's the last one. It's a pretty big movie. It's got a big name attached to it as an actor. Pretty big movie.
The Bourne Supremacy.
No, that was number 14.
That was-
$290 million.
Oh, Troy.
Troy. $497 million for Troy.
Formative for
movie,
me, even though I
sure.
didn't see it.
Big formative movie.
I
for
like
sure.
Troy. I think it's a good movie.
Yeah, on the outside.
It's no Alexander.
on the.
That's for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Boy, watching clips of Alexander, and it's like,
Yeah.
you physically
Oh,
cringe watching
boy.
Colin Farrell in that movie.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I love Alexander so much.
Which cut? You know what I mean?
Hey,
Because
that's
they.
also true.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
You prefer
Which
it
cut?
uncut?
Yeah.
Uncut,
Uncut.
Erik? Yeah. I was gonna say.
just leave it right there.
I think 11 through 20 is also fascinating. I, Robot, National Treasure, Van Helsing, The Bourne Supremacy, The Polar Express, Bridget
Oh,
Jones,
God.
The Edge of Reason, Howl's Moving Castle, which is primarily it got most of its money internationally. It got 230 of its 235 million internationally. Fahrenheit 9/11, Collateral, and The Terminal. That's your top 20. That is
Yeah.
as wide ranging of a top 20 as we used to be a society that had various choices instead of just
No.
sequel. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but I mean,
And
some of
movie
those are, and
stars
then
and
they became sequels. But I mean, that top 10 is in 20 even is still a list of, animated action and blockbuster stuff versus, the period where you could have a Terms of Endearment and Ordinary People in the top 10, where the top 10 wasn't actually action films and animated films, but it was adult normal fare.
yeah, but number 21 on the list is Million Dollar Baby with $216 million. And The Aviator is $213 million at 22. So it's
Sure, but like you think
Mhm.
about the films that have like come to define this year, and like it's shocking to me that Mean Girls is not in the top 20.
right.
Or 13 going on
Yeah.
30, or Man on Fire for that matter. Like those feel like movies that should have been in the top 20 for that year.
Mean
And
Girls is at 42 with only $130 million.
Homophobic.
Yeah, Alexander
We'll be
made
talking
more.
about it later today.
Alexander
Yes, you
made
will.
more
a
money.
lot.
Alexander made more money than Mean Girls. Think about that. Yeah,
Gay
but
rights.
it's just an interesting mix of films.
And Fahrenheit 9/11 is also another one I think about a lot because, like, can you imagine a documentary making
Doing
that
100
kind of
plus.
money
20?
today?
The top 20?
Jesus.
I
It's
can't
a
even
lot.
imagine a documentary like about the current political situation making that much money these days.
Yeah.
I can't imagine something capturing the zeitgeist as much as that movie did, winning the Palme d'Or at like, come on.
And also too,
It was quite a time to be alive.
Yes, it was.
That
Yeah.
year with that.
And like, if you thought Jonathan Glazer's speech at the Oscars was
oh yeah,
controversial,
yeah, yeah.
uh,
No, I think what's so great about it too is like, well, to your point, Josh, if nowadays a movie like that's made, only one side of the aisle is probably going to see it. Like, when those crazy Dinesh D'Souza movies get made and only like the right go and see it, right? But everybody went and saw that movie. It was such a big moment, and yeah, it was following Bowling for Columbine, the Oscar speech from Michael Moore, which got him in a lot of hot water, and it was right after that and everything. And yeah, it was the tide was turning on the Bush administration at this point already. And,
Well, not enough.
yeah, not enough, but
Before.
still enough for people to be curious to go to the
Sure.
theater and see over $200 million for a documentary. That says a lot. And
Yeah.
that's
Didn't it open at #1 its first weekend?
it did. Yeah,
Yeah,
in the
like-
summer, I think.
well, and like,
in
and
the
again,
summer.
this was like a whole, like, this was an era of documentaries that Michael Moore really
Yeah.
helped kick off. And I don't think we see anything like those stunts he pulled. And like, what I still remember from that movie, that sequence of him asking the representatives, like, on the steps of the Capitol as they're going to work, like, and will your children be serving in the army that you're sending everyone to war to? Like, that was a moment when he was like accosting these people. And I feel like the time is ripe to start those kind of big political swings in movies again right now. But
Michael Moore was a
the-
stunt queen.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh, he
Yeah.
was. He was.
Oh, yeah.
Like, any drag
He-
queen would gag. Like,
Oh, I mean, he's kind of.
also,
Oh, I'm sorry.
depending on how you view what a documentary should be,
mhm.
he did also really kind of usher in the era of the documentarian inserting themselves
Yes.
into
Yeah.
it, rather than it really being as a non-biased examination of a topic.
Yeah.
And that's where, I mean, that presidential election, my husband and I were just talking about this yesterday, which created the biggest divide of my generation. It is kind of the thing that kickstarted the really, really deep separation of Democrat and Republican. And here we are today in what that looks like. But that was the blueprint for what was going to happen for the next 20 years.
I think having his movie come out right at the same time as sort of the height of Jon Stewart and The Daily Show, getting massive politicians to go on there, and in this sort of, where does the line of commentary, comedian, activists sort of blend, and now where we're at in terms of,
And party.
I think, and the sort of the distrust of media, and that where we get our facts. And so I think that this is such a great point where, the country is sort of goes down different paths to where we're at now. So it's a really fascinating thing, for a movie to make 119 million here, but 103 million internationally as well too. So it was not just a domestic hit, which is very interesting.
Well, and the expectation at the time was that it could crack Best Picture.
Yeah.
We've had talk.
And that was
and really, if there was ever a documentary that was going to be nominated for Best Picture, this was the time when they would have done it.
So the Oscar ceremony, just to kind of talk about it. I know everybody maybe went back and looked at clips, or everyone maybe went and watched the monologue from Chris Rock, who's his first year ever doing it. Thoughts on the ceremony, and for anyone that did watch Rock's speech or remembers it, what do you think of Chris Rock here, but also just as a host in general? Anybody?
Wow.
No? Nobody?
Well,
I think that says a lot right there.
Yeah.
I mean, I did not go back and
Compared to
watch.
A lot of
Chris Rock,
support for Will
silent.
Smith on this show. Good Lord.
I mean,
Listen, I didn't hate Rock as a host. He did, I think, aim for a balance between somebody who has a bit of an affinity for the Oscars, but really also wanted to roast it. He did both of those things. I do think that, like, compared to Jimmy Kimmel's bits of going out on Hollywood Boulevard and talking to people, which generally I really hate, his choice to go outside of that and to go to the Magic Johnson theaters,
That was good.
That's a great
Black theater moviegoers who had not seen any of the Best Picture nominees, but the things that they did see, and the whole White Chicks bit was actually super funny with Albert Brooks. So I think I think that was I think it was far more insightful and clever than just trying to find the dumbest people on Hollywood Boulevard and make fun of them, which is usually what those things really feel like and look like. I thought that was just a much more clever way to do basically the same bit that happens every couple of years.
It was very pointed. And I liked that. I think that his best moments were kind of like that, like just sharper, more refined versions of the things that a lot of Oscar hosts do. But his worst bits were just like, I mean, really eye rolling. Like, you really
like what?
Just like some of those jokes, I just did not think. I think some of the jokes, and I remember this from the time, like there being like a lot of really kind of nasty, shocked reactions to some, like thinking that the jokes went too far. And I didn't at the time think that, but I think like looking back, it is kind of a like, you bit the hand that feeds you a bit too much.
And yet they invited him back just a couple of years later, and then about a decade later.
Because
So
he
didn't
come back.
he didn't bite him that hard. You know what I mean? Like,
Because he got good ratings. I
Yeah.
mean,
well, and Chris Rock loves to do that. Like, Chris
yes.
Rock,
that's
the
his
thing I've always had like in mixed feelings about with him is like he can be very funny, but you invite him on that stage because you want him to kind of tear the system down a little bit. But Chris Rock also desperately wants to be a part of that system. So it's a weird tension that I feel like he always has as an Oscar host, where he wants to make fun of people, but not too much, otherwise he won't be invited back too. And I feel like some people can tread that water a lot more tactfully than he can, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Sophia, thoughts on that?
Yeah. The only thing I was going to add too about him is the whole thing with the, and Dan, you might have been alluding to this too, with the jokes that people reacted negatively to, is the Jude Law
Yeah.
joke.
Hell yeah, we're here.
Yeah,
I love it.
Um,
I love it.
I thought it was
and
funny.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Sean Penn coming out just made it
But that's
worse.
what I
That's
was
the
gonna
thing.
Yeah,
say.
that's
Like,
like
he
this-
made it worse
Yeah, you're making it worse, dude. Like,
because his response was so confusing.
It was
Yeah.
so
Because
weird.
he goes out there, and I mean, I thought the joke was pretty funny too. But then when Sean Penn goes out there to present Best
Yeah.
Actress, he has to comment on it and then make the weirdest. Like, it was so confusing
Yeah.
because then he goes, and behind every great actor, we have 5 great actresses. It's like, what are
What
you
the
talking about?
It's like
Yeah.
that's the part that I mean, like it just like went way too far.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I
but
mean,
that's
if
on
you
Penn.
left
That's
the
on
joke.
that's
you
on
left
Penn.
the joke as it was.
Right,
It's okay.
yeah.
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 No, that's a
But
Penn
that-
problem.
That's a
Yeah.
Penn problem.
Yeah.
That's not a
Yeah.
that's not a rock problem, because then he goes out there and in a response later and kind of just was like, what the hell was that? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
That was kind of the weird thing though, because the response to Penn, I felt like the next day was really overblown, because it wasn't an aggressively like fuck you Chris Rock. It was just like, hey, I think Jude Law is really good
Yeah.
and I'm pretty humorless, which he sort of acknowledges
Yes.
in that beginning, that he's kind of humorless about it. I'm like, okay, well, there you go. And people kind of treated it like it was this massive diatribe against Chris Rock. And I'm like, have you guys not heard acceptance speeches before that are actually, interesting and controversial? It was pretty low stakes, ultimately. And then
Yeah.
Jude Law responded, and he was like really upset and angry and hurt. I'm just like,
It was
oh
so
my
weird.
God, you guys are so fucking fragile.
Ugh, yeah.
Calm down.
I think that's like the point too about Rock. I like Rock. I think he's a very good stand-up comedian, and I think he actually does a really good job of getting the show to flow right, and he does land his punches. I thought his last hosting stint that he did during the Oscars So White stuff was one of the strongest in my lifetime. I thought he did a great job there, and I think that he, Josh, you mentioned it, he kind of dances the line. I think that he dances the line better than somebody like Ricky Gervais, who is totally almost in a very mean-spirited, what the Globes want kind of vibe from that.
Well, that's
And I
why you
think-
hire him for the Globes, though.
Yeah.
You wouldn't hire him for the
Yeah.
Oscar
But I don't
crowd.
I think he's an observationist, and I think he just, like the Jude Law thing is a perfect example of just, looking at the absurdity of this event and this night in general, and yet, and not doing it in such a way where, he could go a lot worse. And I think that that's what people expect, because his comedy, I mean, if you ever watch a stand-up special, it's not PG, and he has to kind of trim that down. But I think he does deliver the best version of what he could expect, as opposed to like Billy Crystal or Jimmy Kimmel, who are very safe, very traditional. And I mean, like, it's funny, like, you get on Chris Rock all you want. The year before, in Billy Crystal's monologue, he's singing about Scarlett Johansson's rear in the Lost in Translation song bit. So it's like, these things don't age well, in particular, 20 years later. I mean, most jokes don't.
Yeah, most
But
comedy doesn't. I was about to say.
it doesn't. But I mean, I think that Rock, the fact that we remember a bit like the Jude Law controversy, and that he has been invited back, and it was a very successful show. And we'll talk about how many people watched it here in a little bit. I think he's one of the better ones in terms of the different types of hosts that they've had in at least in our lifetime. He's definitely better than having no host, which we've seen how that works out, and how that's not good either. So I really liked his. I overall liked it. I mean, I don't think he's the best I've ever seen.
I will say
but
one thing
he's really
though
good.
that I will not forgive him about is that I remember he made a comment before the ceremony where he basically joked that only gay people watch the Oscars. And not a comment I appreciated as a 14-year-old closeted kid being excited about the Oscars coming up. Didn't appreciate that.
So
Yeah, there
okay,
was that.
now the thing about that, because I went back into that as well. Because what he said was no straight black man sits and watches the Oscars.
Which even better.
Yeah.
which was making fun of really more like himself. And so yeah, he had to do like an apology tour and a clarification tour of what he meant on that. And even like the head of GLAAD was like, he's not making fun of gay people, he's making fun of the Oscars.
Yeah.
So there's an interesting thing that happens sometimes where something can get misconstrued, and then once it sort of gets stuck there. But I get it. I mean,
it was kind of
perception of the time. That's how I took it.
Yeah.
I mean,
at-
at 14 years old.
I mean, at the time
Exactly.
too, it was
Exactly.
a very controversial choice to have him on because of the
It
style of
was.
humor that he did mostly in his stand-ups. It was like, whoa, he's going to do the Oscar. And so people, like, I remember reading the articles at the time about like how they had the sensors ready, the button, the hand on the button, and
Yeah.
they were ready to pull it off of live and everything. And it didn't end up being as bad as people thought it was, because ultimately he's still a professional and knows exactly the type of audience that he's catering to. But like, yeah, I remember there was a little bit of mass hysteria around him hosting this Oscars, and yeah, there was probably
nothing racist about that whatsoever.
nothing
Absolutely
coded in like being
not.
scared that
Nope.
that a black man's going to host the Oscars. You know what I mean? Nothing.
I mean,
at all.
no, but that was his reputation, was as a foul-mouthed comedian.
Yeah, but people forget
It's
he
not
was
surprising.
he was on Saturday Night Live, and he didn't have, and then he had a background of doing both sides of that comedy and everything. But obviously when you've been like, yeah, his stand-up special, I think right around that time he had like broke the record for most F-bombs on HBO or something like that. So it's crazy.
The thing that I will always remember his hosting gig for it being like basically a ratings stunt that actually kind of worked. I think it worked better his second time at bat, like you were talking about, Ryan, but he's not a bad host.
No. I think he's good, and I mean he's never going to host again now.
I mean,
You know what I mean? Which sucks, because I think
there's still like 8 more years on that Will Smith suspension.
I mean,
so
yeah, he's
he
gonna
might
be
feel
sa-
safe enough.
he's
to be in
safe
the
there,
building.
That'd be
right?
another rating stunt. in a
Yeah,
way.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
like, when Will Smith comes back, Will Smith and Chris Rock back to
Oh,
the
they
Oscars.
are definitely
like,
going to be on that.
Oh,
thing
they're
again.
definitely gonna hug it
Yeah.
out. You know what I mean? And then the best picture winner was $1 Million Baby. No surprise there.
late breaker.
Yeah.
Well,
late
it's
all
not
of a
that it was
sudden,
no
everyone-
surprise. It just was like, it was a surprise that it happened,
Yeah,
and then just
It
was
became a big hit.
steamroller.
yeah, like right at the end, and it was one of the last. See, this is perpetrated like sort of in people's minds for the last 20 years about like something in December is gonna come, Color Purple, and dominate the Oscars, and then it doesn't. You know what I mean? Because they're not. I don't know. It just this was a movie that's. I don't know. For some reason, it caught onto him. It had the
If
right
you're going
formula.
to open late like that, you really got to be a tug at the heartstrings kind of movie to get major nominations and wins. Like, it was another one. I remember it happened with The Fighter too. Like, that was a really late breaking movie that no one really had on their radar, but it got that immediate rush of people loving it.
Yeah,
You
but
have
to Ryan's point, I mean, this was
December.
the beginning of
last
the
week.
very end of the era of non-festival run films
Yeah.
totally taking over, because then we had The Departed next year, and that was it. From that point on,
The Departed came out in like October.
you had No Country, and from 2007 on, it was festival runs, dictated
Campaigns.
Best Picture.
Mhm.
So this was the end of a major era, and it was wild too, because just the year before,
Lord of the Rings.
well, no, the year after Crash won by $1 Million Baby was the first Los Angeles set film to win Best Picture.
Yeah.
And that's one of those weird statistics and trivia pieces that make absolutely no sense when you're thinking about,
especially since like you don't think
movie.
about this movie and think LA.
Well, how many? Well,
No,
how many?
you don't.
But how many times do we also be like, "Oh, well, that's a movie set in L.A. and it's about people in L.A." So
That's what I mean.
You
It's not
know, it's
something
going to
you
win Best
think
Picture.
about
You
at
know,
all.
yeah,
Because
and
they,
then it.
you know, crashed it next year and also
Yeah.
LA based. But it's just it's one of those things that that doesn't make any sense. It just is something that exists.
What do we think of it as a winner, as a movie itself? I know everybody's rewatched it over.
I like it.
Yeah,
I think it's a good movie. It wasn't quite as good as I remembered it when I rewatched it, but I still think it's a really solid film.
yeah. It's one of
I love
Clint's
it.
better films. It's definitely like I
Yeah.
think of his. It's like his top one of his top 4 films that he's
I
directed.
would say so.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
rank it highly.
Yeah,
I think that it really, those performances really just make it sing. I think
Yeah.
if the screenplay is good and there's a lot that's a little unexpected about it, but really what makes it work are those 3 performances. Just my God.
I would say
I mean,
2
four,
of them.
four if you count the stool. So
Oh my god.
Best
I
supporting
thought
actor,
you were
yes.
going to
Surprise
say.
Best Supporting Actor
I
nomination.
thought you were going to say
I-
Margot Martindale. I really.
Yeah, I thought you were going to
that
say
was-
Oh my
Margaret
God.
Martindale or Jay Baruchel, and I was like,
Oh, Margot Martindale
Oh.
should have been
oh.
the host of
Wonder
the
Man,
show.
Marianne.
Oh, with her Disneyland hat on and
Yeah.
like at the
Oh.
hospital bed, a fucking queen.
People, they laugh at you. You know,
Oh
what I mean?
God.
They- that like little bit of air that she lets out to they laugh at you.
They laugh at you, and then like her
So
sister
good.
looking super sinister, like cackling it like a wicked stepsister in a Disney movie in the background with her holding her baby and a cigarette. Yeah, it's
Man, I can't.
it's a little cliche, but I remember seeing it when it first came out, and I was like, oh, it's mostly like a boxing movie, sports movie, whatever. And I do remember. I mean, all jokes aside, that's the whole part for essentially the second half of the film,
Yeah.
where you know when she is in the hospital and everything. I had no idea that was coming. My
Yeah.
audience was fucking shocked that happened.
Everyone was. Yeah.
Like because
Everyone
they
was,
don't
yeah.
put any of that in the promo, and then it happens. You're like, holy shit! The last 45 minutes of this movie is like fucking misery to watch. Like it's like the saddest 45 minutes you could
Yeah.
ever watch, and it's
so weird that, as you said, they didn't even really like market it that way either.
No.
To be like, you got to see this movie because there's something major that happens at the end. It really was just marketed as this is a sort of
boxing movie.
like
inspirational
like
boxing
Rocky,
movie.
you know,
Rocky,
Chariots of
And then
Fire,
you get
you
hit
know,
with tragedy in the at the very end, and it surprised everybody.
and what's
And all of that would have been spoiled had it been a festival film.
Oh, yeah,
And
easily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
everyone would have known the ending.
man, yeah, it's kind of one of those
Yeah.
great things where you don't have online. But anyway, Sophia, what are you gonna say?
Yeah, so I had sort of the opposite experience that you did, Josh, which is that I used to think this movie was just like very emotionally manipulative, unnecessarily bleak. And like when I watched it, I remember at the time thinking it had the best title. Like when I was an 11-year-old watching the
that's a really
Oscars, I was
good-
like,
yeah.
this has the best movie title. But then I watched it later that year and was just, it was too much for me. And then when I revisited it later, thought the same thing. I was like, you know, sometimes the Oscars, they just go for these movies that are just dark for the sake of being dark, just to get something out of you. And let me tell you, when I rewatched this a few weeks ago, I was so moved by it. It just like, it really hit me in an unexpected way. Where I was like, is this a masterpiece level movie from Clint Eastwood? What
Yeah.
am I experiencing here? I think it is. And it's because I think now I guess that I, you know, I'm a more, you know, seasoned movie watcher than I was years ago when I first watched it. I think I could appreciate the power in the performances and in the construction of the narrative and really Eastwood's direction, which I was just again very impressed by how you, like him at the beginning, you don't really know what to make of her and of their relationship with each other. And then as the movie progresses, you feel, I think, just so synced up and connected with them both that your heart just breaks by the end of it. And I think, yeah, I love the performances. And I think it is a movie that has I don't know. I mean, I think you can pull things apart in any movie that comes out in the early aughts, but as far as Best Picture winners go, I would put it pretty high up, even if it isn't my favorite movie of the year.
Yeah, I can understand when they got their ballots in their hand of the movies that they have nominated here. Like,
Yeah.
even though it's late breaking and everything, you're like, well, how the fuck do you not vote for that? Like, shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's the one that has all the right, sometimes it's like, oh, it has all the right beats and it looks like the perfect recipe for a Best Picture winner. But then, like, Eastwood's done this many, many times where, like, we think that he's going to have the goods and he doesn't deliver because he shoots a movie so quick, but it lacks emotionality or whatnot. But it's like one of the last times he's really good in a movie, and Morgan Freeman's very good.
He's so good
And
in this.
and it's really carried by Hilary Swank, who's at the top of her game at this time. Coming off an Oscar win just a couple of years ago, it had the right recipe and formula, and he's also coming off of Mystic River the year before too, which was very highly touted and had 2 Oscar winners there. So it kind of made sense, and for it to come out so quickly and become a big hit, and like having this and Unforgiven, 2 of his best movies, be the ones that are the ones that get the Oscars. It's actually kind of great, because usually when we look at people's careers, they win Oscars, directors win Oscars for movies we don't even think close represent the best of what they've ever given us. And outside of like Letters from Iwo Jima and Bridges of Madison County, these are his 2 best films, like easily. So for me, at least, like those are the 4, and then everything else you can just put in a crock pot of mediocre to terrible. And so, but yeah, I think it's aged really well. I mean, I think we put this in the B tier. Did we put this in the B
tier?
Did we put this in the
It
B
should be
tier?
A.
It still feels
think
like
it
a
should be
solid B tier to me. Like,
I feel like of its decade, it straddles the line between B and A. I'm probably would put it a little towards A, just because it's, like Erik was saying, it's one of the last late breakers, and I don't know, it feels very Hollywood too, and it's
Well, there's something really contextually interesting about his ability to have won for this while, Scorsese and The Aviator had kind of
don't get me started.
been chugging along, and seemed like, this is the perfect kind of thing for Scorsese to win for, and
To finally do it, yeah.
Yeah, and then
About Hollywood
to get the rug pulled out from under. But the interesting thing for me was that the year prior, Eastwood had made all of these negative comments about Return of the King and about movies like that winning Best Picture, because he was pretty bitter about.
Yeah, he was pissed. He was like, "Fuck these hobbits." You know what I mean?
Mystic fucking Pizza River.
That's how I feel watching it sometimes.
And then for voters to sort of
just forget about it.
No, not to forget about it. I think they had it in mind. I think for them to be able to bypass Scorsese, to feel more conviction and passion for this, and I think definitely having Eastwood's comments in mind, and because Oscar voters don't have a pattern and a trend, and certainly don't like to appear that they do. So to go from Return of the King to this in year to year sort of represents that.
Yeah, I think also too, Erik, it's almost put up or shut up, Clint. Like, if you're gonna say all that shit, back it up. And then he did. He's like, oh, by the way, this is what I'm talking about. This is the type of movie that should win. And they're like, you know what? He's kind of right. Kind of makes them
came in with a mic drop.
Yeah, he really did. And then there's always, they'll not try to be rude about this either, but there is always the linger, like, well, this could be the last time we ever award Clint. And then he's been around for 20 more,
another
20 more
years.
fucking years.
We got a new Clint coming out this year.
Jury number 2.
Can't wait to see it.
It's gonna
crazy to me when I rewatched it. was really that he shouted out his mom in the audience.
Yeah.
And my comment while I was watching, I was like, oh my God, that family has great genes. And then he thanked her
Yeah.
for his genes. Like,
I love his director speech.
I think she's
yeah.
90.
Yeah.
She's like 94 there or 96, something crazy. And
Thank you,
it's like,
Mom.
we're 20 years later. He's still making movies.
Yeah.
But it was a great speech too, how he pointed out Sidney Lumet. Yeah, I really loved that.
Yeah.
Well, she's still alive too, which is crazy. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I doubt it. Okay.
God.
What?
Apologies,
So-
Mrs. Eastwood.
Well, I mean,
Absolutely.
she's not going to hear the apologies. So it doesn't matter. All right. Let's do some Oscar trivia. You guys can all help each other out here. All right. You guys ready?
Okay,
No.
ready.
These happen every episode, and I always ask it, and Dan's always the one going, "No, I'm not ready for this." It's like, well, you. All right.
But
How
Dan,
many-
you're pretty good at it.
I'm
feel
never
like.
ready for it though. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
like,
true. That's true. That's true. We've talked about that. It's like Dan's never ready, and then he's 100% the person game for it here in about 20 seconds. All right, let's just start off with a softball question. How many viewers watched the Academy Awards in 2005?
42 million.
That's correct. Do you know how long the ceremony was? Don't look it up.
Wasn't it like 3 1/4?
315.
Yeah, thought it was 3:15.
Anybody else? Josh, you want to give a guess?
I mean, that I never know these
So
bits of trivia.
so Eric's got 317. I've got two 315s. Josh,
Yeah, I'll say 3:16 just
You're all-
to split the difference.
you're all over. It was 3 hours and 14 minutes.
Mm.
1
We
minute
failed the
over.
Price is Right.
Mm.
Yeah, so
Yeah, calm down, Bob Barker.
there you go. Which film was the outlier in Best Picture, and who was the outlier in Best Director? Because four other films.
So
Yeah,
Finding Neverland didn't have
yeah.
the director nomination, and
Mhm.
Vera Drake didn't have the picture nomination.
correct.
Boy, in a perfect world.
Oh, flipped up. Well,
Yeah.
don't flip
No,
those.
don't
No,
flip 'em,
get rid of
but-
just
Don't-
Finding Neverland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the one movie that I attempted to rewatch, and then I stopped it like after half an hour.
I gotta tell you this:
Hate it.
Finding Neverland is not the worst film nominated for Best Picture out of this year, and I'm just
That
gonna
is
say-
true.
yeah, because Ray exists. All right, I'm gonna say it now. Ray's terrible.
Dan's gonna
Listen.
go with something else. I can see it.
Yeah,
in his face.
which
No.
might be my favorite movie of the particular year. So,
Which one?
I mean, I do really like Sideways.
Oh,
I
okay.
do too, Josh.
Yeah, I like Sideways. It's a good movie.
Sideways is good.
Sideways is good.
Oh, it sounded like you had some comments about it earlier.
Who, me?
No.
Oh,
Dan
Dan.
did.
No,
Dan did.
no, that was just. I remember when that movie
Here we
came
go.
out, and everyone was going on and on and on about that Pinot Noir monologue, and then they're like, "Oh, it's so beautiful. He's really talking about himself," and I'm like, "Isn't that like writing 101?"
Oh.
Like
It has nothing on
I-
the scene when Clive Owen is sexting in the office.
nothing, and
Hell yeah.
nothing on the actual best moment in Sideways, which is when Sandra Oh murders him with her motorcycle helmet.
There you go.
You're getting married on Saturday. Everyone forgets that Sandra Oh was in this movie, and they should
Yeah.
not, because she is great.
Yep, she's the only one not nominated.
Prime homophobic.
Well, that's not true. Sorry, Giamatti wasn't nominated. That's right.
True.
Sorry, Paul. Go to In and Out on us. Anyway, who did Chris Rock pay tribute to during the telecast in a separate tribute?
Oh my god.
It's a pretty big legend.
Like somebody who had passed.
Yeah.
Someone who passed in
Is
04.
this Johnny Carson?
It was Johnny Carson,
Yeah.
the late Johnny Carson.
Oh,
It wasn't
Johnny
just
Carson died in 03, though.
no. Well, he
Yeah, 'cause
he
it
went
was
on stage,
outside the memorial.
and then Whoopi
Why?
Goldberg was also came on the stage as well too. During
Yeah.
Mm.
Speaking of the in memoriam, who presented the in memoriam and who performed during the clip reel?
Oh,
I'll give you a hint. It's one of the actor nominees,
Yeah, Annette
not
Bening
best actor,
and,
just actor in general.
Annette Bening did it.
Yeah, it was Annette
Yes.
Bening, but
Diana Naya
the-
did it. Yep.
but Yo-Yo Ma did the
Oh,
the music,
yeah.
yeah.
Correct. Which again, Just gonna say
That is also a very
The only
like,
good musical
mid-2000s
performance
staple.
of all of them.
yes, but also, again,
mean-
I am very anti playing a live performance during the in memoriam. Very anti that. Stop doing it.
You mean how horrific this year's was?
Oh my God,
Oh.
that
Mm.
was one of the worst. I mean, like they keep.
We actually didn't
finding-
talk about that in our wrap up, Ryan.
we
and
didn't.
I realized only afterwards. It's like maybe it was.
There
best
was
we did.
for good reason.
Yeah,
Not
it
talk
didn't
about
need to be
okay?
mentioned, but it's being mentioned. Let's go back just a
Yeah.
couple weeks.
Oh God.
They find
Please, no.
new ways to continuously screw up the in memoriam and stop showing somebody perform. Just show people that passed away. It's
And
okay.
then dancers on the stage.
Yeah,
I was
just
the
like,
dancing,
what's going on?
and then the
There's so
and the
much
rest
happening.
credit at the very
I
end.
couldn't read any of the fonts on the screen.
I would rather
Yeah.
watch the Crash interpretive dance
Yes.
performance
That performance
5
was
times.
insane.
than this in memoriam one
Yeah.
once more.
I don't
Them-
think they're doing that again.
Them and the I thought the Grammys was awful too this year. Like just bad. Stop. Just it's simple. Just keep it simple. People passed. It's okay.
Just have one person singing a song and show people.
No, I don't. I don't want anybody singing. Just play. You have a live
should do it.
orchestra.
Or
just
just an
use
orchestra,
them.
yeah.
Instrumental.
Yeah,
Yeah.
instrumental.
They should do what
One
TCM
performer.
does.
What does TCM do?
Yes, get
They
those
should just
people.
use the
just
TCM
nice.
reel. Frankly.
Yeah, it's
Like,
just a reel that's put together. So it's not like we don't have a performer that's there. It's just like a really nice video.
There you go.
Yeah,
Either that or just don't do it because it doesn't seem like you give a shit. And I'm just putting that
well,
out
we
there.
all
One
want to
year
see
they're-
it, but
one
I mean,
year
I
they're
want to
gonna-
see it, but they
You
clearly
gotta
they're
do it.
like, this is just a bathroom break before Best Actress. You know what I mean?
One year
So-
they're gonna do In the Arms of the Angel, and I'm just gonna throw my TV out the
it
window.
was that would
Yeah.
not be too much off from what they did this previous season.
It'll
When
be
they started
the-
singing that song, it's
It'll
like,
be the year
are we-
Messi the
are we
dog
really
dies.
doing this right now?
That's when, yeah, that's when-
Honestly shocked that it has not been done before.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
genuinely shocked.
Yeah, when the dog from the artist died, I'm surprised they didn't do it.
When Messi dies, that will happen.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who presented Best Original Song?
Best original.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
Prince.
Oh,
Yeah. I saw that. I
Still
went,
don't know how they got him.
yeah, that's
It's
the thing.
wild. He does nothing.
Why?
Like-
yeah.
And poor thing trying to pronounce the title.
Mm.
It's a good thing they played him played the
He just kind of
approach
mumbled.
music.
Yeah, he just kind of
Yeah.
mumbled a little bit because he's Prince.
He's like,
Yeah, motorcycle drivers. Who did Al Pacino present an honorary Oscar to?
Sidney Lumet.
There you go. Which film won the coveted SAG Ensemble Award?
Sideways.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which film won the most indie spirits?
Wasn't that also Sideways?
Yes, that is correct, Josh.
Yeah.
How many did it win?
Like all of them.
One.
Yeah.
Picture, director,
Picture, director, actor, supporting-
actress. Screenplay.
Screenplay.
It won 6.
Did it? Yeah, was that it?
Yeah, they won some. It won like another one as well too. But yeah, it won 6.
Whatever it was nominated for and won.
This one is for Sophia and only Sophia. Which Oscar-winning writer-director got their first nomination for Best Live Action Short this year?
Oh, I know what this is. Yes.
Why is this for me? I'm so
Oh,
scared.
you'll figure it out.
You'll figure
get
it out.
it.
You'll
Okay,
get
let
it.
me think. Oh, PTA.
No,
No, because never mind. Sorry, he's not nominated for that.
No,
it's Taika Waititi.
This is so
it's
mean.
Taika. It's Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi.
There you go.
That's
Yeah.
why you're doing this.
But do you know who
Who
won?
won? Do you know who won?
It's a
Andrea
good
Arnold.
one.
Andrea
Yeah.
Arnold.
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember looking at this earlier. Oh,
Women
damn
won
you.
that night. Sadly, not in 2020. Sorry, Greta. Who won Best Supporting Actress at the Golden Globes?
Natalie Portman.
Yeah,
Hmm?
closer.
Fun.
Who won the Golden Globe and
Much better
BAFTA award for Best Supporting Actor, but not the SAG and the Oscar?
Clive Owen.
That's
Yeah.
correct. Their
Oh,
co-star,
Yeah.
Clive Owen.
My God.
Again, a better choice.
So fucking hot.
Right, listen.
Like,
Everyone in that movie.
Josh.
I know, but
my
that scene
God.
when he walks down the stairs and
Yeah.
he's got
Here we
his
Josh
he's in
knows.
his jeans and the
Yeah.
belt is unbuckled and the
Yeah.
little t-shirt is
Josh,
It's so funny. I
Oh, God.
remember my mom was obsessed with him in this movie at the time. And I was
How
like,
could you not
oh,
be?
I need to watch this movie. And then it hit me as like a, I don't know, sixth grader.
Josh,
like, oh, the
how
apple
are
doesn't fall
you?
far.
Are you as a Bond fan? Were you mad that he didn't that Craig got it over him? Like he feels
mean,
like a perfect Bond choice, doesn't he?
At the time, I was very much in. I wanted Clive Owen to take over because he was just like perfect for me. The way that they went with it, I think they made a decent choice with Daniel Craig. But if they were going to do something in the vein of like the Pierce Brosnan stuff, I think he would have been perfect.
I think he would have been great. I think he would have killed it.
I love Clive Owen. Around
Fucking
that time.
hot. Yeah.
Come on, if you haven't seen Croupier, you
Oh
owe
my
it to
God,
yourself to
like,
see
I
it.
love
Like,
Croupier.
Oh my God.
my God, what a beautiful fucking man. Ugh.
Who performed 3 of the best original songs on the night?
Beyonce.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, she did.
Oh God.
Who presented
That
Best
was
Picture?
a time.
Who presented Best Picture?
The Fockers.
Dustin Hoffman
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Barbara
Barbara
Streisand.
Streisand.
Yeah, it was the Fockers.
In yet another weird pause before the name
Yep.
confusion.
There was a lot of strange stuff going
And
on
not
there,
even
too.
announcing the name, but it's like, oh, Clint, I'm so glad that I get
Yeah.
to give this to you. Like,
Yeah,
say the fucking
Say
name.
the fucking name.
Yeah.
because
I
you
did
don't
like
have
that,
Barbara
though.
Streisand do that. Like, she's going to make it about her.
But also,
Yeah.
I also like that moment because when she says, "I'm so glad to give this to you again,"
Yeah.
there's a part of me that's like, again, as in, oh, you're getting another Oscar tonight. But she also presented him Best Director for Unforgiven, so it's like, in my Oscar brain, I like making that connection too.
Yeah, and I was
Oh,
always thinking,
that's
like,
the
did you?
It's
connection.
really cool.
Yeah.
Did you date Clint for some also too? Like, I was just like, I was trying to piece that together. I don't know.
No,
Which
if Barbara Streisand's going to do anything before revealing something, it's
make it
about
about her?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a funny little bit that they were doing.
I think
it's
they-
very
also on
cute.
stage. I thought it was
Yeah.
fun.
I think they just gotta have Spielberg present Best Picture from now on because nothing ever bad happens when he just does it. He just goes up there, reads the card, and it's done. Like there's no controversy or crazy shit going on.
Beyonce
Actually-
needs to return next year for the 50th at Chinatown.
Yeah, because
Her and Jack.
Yeah.
have Jack up there. I'm sure it wouldn't go
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, it would
It's gonna go so well.
Oh, yeah. What was the winner for worst
All-time
picture?
classic incoming.
What was the winner for worst picture at the Razzies?
Oh, wait, no, Gigli was before. Is it,
Yeah, that was 2003.
Was it Jersey
was
Girl?
It Jersey Girl?
It was a Jersey.
It was not.
Wait, was it Polar
Was it
Express?
White Chicks?
No, it was not White Chicks. That's a good guess,
Okay.
though. That's a good
White
guess,
Chicks
Josh.
is one of the best films of the year.
Is it
Was
an
it Polar
Uwe
Express?
Boll movie?
Ooh. No, it's not Polar Express.
Is it Alone
Oh
in the
wait, was
Dark?
it Passion of the Christ?
It is not
No, it
Passion of the
wasn't.
Christ. It's not
They
that.
don't
on
have the
those.
balls to do that.
White Chicks
bad.
was nominated for worst picture, by the way. It was
Okay.
Yeah.
Or the
Was it
villain?
Alone in the
Remember,
Dark, was
you
it?
know, George
it
Bush
Alexander?
got nominated.
Alexander was nominated, but it was not.
Yeah.
It was not worst picture winner.
You give us a hint? How is it not Jersey Girl? Oh my god.
It stars
What is
a
this?
Oscar-winning actress for Best Actress.
Oh, Catwoman.
It is Catwoman.
Oh,
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah,
right.
that was
right.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
she
yeah,
showed
yeah.
up. Yeah.
Surviving
Right.
Christmas was also nominated.
Oh, God.
And Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2 was the other.
Oh
Oh
my god.
yeah. What that? Oh.
For everyone
to
now.
be,
John Voight
to be
is-
alive during the Baby Geniuses
Yeah.
era.
Yes.
Is John Voight in that?
I don't know.
Was Taika
Josh.
Waititi involved in that?
I'm sure. Yeah, he's got an
in
executive
some of
producer.
them.
He
Yes,
is a
John
baby
John
genius.
John Voight is. Yeah, John Voight is in Baby Genius.
Yeah, I think he's in
Yeah.
multiple Baby Genius sequels.
Yep.
To be honest.
Good for him.
Oh, the irony.
Speaking
Yeah.
of, worst actor at the Razzies was
Oh, I know this.
Josh.
Yeah.
Knows.
It's-
Josh, help me out.
Yeah. You want me to just say it?
Yeah, say it, buddy.
Yeah, it's George W. Bush.
There we go.
Oh, for
Fahrenheit 9/11. Who also
Yeah.
won worst supporting actor?
uh,
You know?
Rummy.
Yeah, Rummy. Donald Rumsfeld.
Donald Rumsfeld.
They came and accepted their awards. Just kidding. They
Yeah.
were continuing to warmonger the entire rest of their tenure in presidency. All right. Could you imagine if they showed up? Yeah. And then Halle Berry won worst actress.
Yeah.
And then Britney Spears won Worst Supporting
Oh, right,
Actress
for-
Now, that is
Fahrenheit
bullshit.
9/11. That's
I mean, they're all
that's-
bullshit
yeah,
wins to begin
that-
with.
That's
but
a little mean spirited. Yeah.
yeah.
When Sharon Stone is right there for Catwoman, come on. So, and then worst on
Also, like that started off the trend with them giving the
politi-
performance wins
to
to
political leaders.
documentaries, and it's like it was sort of fun and cute with Fahrenheit 9/11, but like that should not have set a precedent for them to keep doing that.
Worst screen couple was George W. Bush and either
Yep.
Condoleezza Rice or his pet goat for Fahrenheit 9/11. That's actually kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. That's
No, you're right, Judge. And like we were talking earlier, this movie was a cultural shift
Yeah.
in so many ways.
so many ways. And finally, Million Dollar Baby won how many Oscars?
4.
And what did it win?
4.
And what did it win for?
Picture, director, actress, supporting actor.
Yep.
But it wasn't the film that won the most on the night. What was that?
No,
No.
that was the Aviator.
Aviator
Aviator.
won
5.
There we go. All right, folks.
Both of them lost screenplay.
As they should have.
Just
I mean, yeah.
just like this past year.
It's so it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of those neat things where you can clock it ahead
They,
of time.
they spread it out pretty well this year, I think, amongst stuff. It seemed,
Yeah.
you got this.
The
you got
winners,
that,
yeah,
you
ish.
know, ish.
A bit,
Nomination. No, there's a ton of films nominated too. Like this is like a really big crop of films, just like that either got 1 or 2 or got up.
Well,
several.
this is also what
Yeah.
happens when you don't have 10 Best Picture nominees.
Yeah, you get to like throw stuff around. Like,
Yeah.
do we want to?
Well, no, it
Do
does.
we want to
doesn't
like kind of predict or kind of assume what the other 6 through 10 would be? Maybe. You guys want to do that real quick?
Well, I mean, yeah, sure. Vera Drake.
Yeah, Vera
Vera
Drake
Drake.
would probably do
Vera
that, right?
Drake.
Vera Drake.
I think
Obviously,
Eternal Sunshine. Also.
I think Eternal Sunshine. Yeah, that's right.
Eternal Sunshine, absolutely.
I think the
Hotel
Incredibles
Rwanda,
would have-
probably.
Hotel Rwanda.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Incredibles
the,
would have been able to
I-
get in.
I think the Incredibles, and I'm thinking either. I'm probably. Who said Passion of the Christ earlier?
I mean, yeah, I do think
Yeah.
Passion of the Christ.
Yeah, and that's your 10.
That amount of money.
And it did
Yeah.
do. It got below the line nominations.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But you know what else got a lot of below the line nominations was the Polar fucking Express. So
I don't think
Yeah,
I don't think
but
that was getting in.
I think Passion of the
No.
Christ would be in a lineup ahead of Polar Express.
In my heart, I would love Collateral to get in. But
Yeah, but I don't
in
know.
my heart, I would love Collateral or Closer, but they each miss like key nominations
stuff.
that
Yeah.
make me think they wouldn't have gotten it.
Yeah, no, I
It
think
is
the 5 that we
really-
mentioned. Is
Yeah, I mean the 5 that got in were the 5 films that got the most nominations.
yeah,
It was
Yeah.
really rather cut and dry. There wasn't really a lot of there was no 4 weddings and a funeral here.
Eric, you would know this more than I did when I was looking this up. But did Motorcycle Diaries was that just missed 4 language film and or wasn't eligible or
Gosh, I don't remember what I'd have to look back at the
you were at the ceremony and everything?
to the entries and
Can't
no,
fucking
I
help
don't remember.
Yeah,
That's okay.
I wasn't paying attention either.
But I mean,
I was just
we're-
curious.
We're talking about Fahrenheit 9/11, who was not here either.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that wasn't nominated either.
Well, there was also that thing about how it couldn't qualify in documentary, right? Because Michael Moore wanted it to air on television before, and
That's
that's
exactly why people thought that it was going to be able to get into Best Picture.
yeah,
It was because
'Cause
of,
it's
of
everybody
Yeah,
gets
'cause
it.
it was
not getting
seeing
into
it, yeah.
documentary.
All right.
because it needed to be seen before the election.
Mm-hmm.
It was that important.
Yeah.
That important. Okay, that's trivia. Setting all that aside, we're here for the meat of the conversation now. Finally, we're going to do a new version of our shoulda, coulda, woulda replacement Oscar game, and we're doing something a little bit different this go around. We're not doing individual. We're going to do this as a team because we here at Awards Watch we love to work together. All right, and so the new rules are simple. We are going to decide which 3 out of the 5 nominees from the Academy we're going to keep. We can keep more if we want to. We have up to 2 replacements as a team. And then we must decide as a team what the winner of that Oscar would be. This is, I think, going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do the above the line categories. We're going to do the screenplays. We're going to do the actors. We're going to do director and picture. But before we do any of that, Does anyone want to highlight any of the below the line winners or things that you would rather change or see just like individually? I think that's only fair to talk about a little bit of some of those categories just quickly. Josh, I can start with you while everybody else is clearly looking like they need a hot second. So I'll start with you, my good friend.
Yeah, there is actually one in particular that I've always looked at as like, man, it's not a great lineup, and I could do a lot with that, and that's original score.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Honestly,
such a
that's the one.
weird.
Can
That's
we
right.
get rid of all 5?
I was about to say I could replace every single one of those movies.
I'd be willing to do it.
Yeah.
I'd be willing
Yep.
to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, because like not having the Incredibles here, it's crazy.
Stupid.
I still don't understand how
Sideways.
Eternal Sunshine didn't
Yeah.
get nominated
Yeah.
here. That
The
score was
Aviator won the Globe for score.
that score is
You're gonna
so
put
good.
one Best Picture nominee in here, and it's Finding Fucking Neverland.
Yeah,
It's
Get outta
shameless because that score is fucking shameless.
Mhm.
Shameless.
awful. So like that's the one category I'm like literally could jettison every single one of these nominees and we'd have a better lineup.
Total agreement.
I totally agree with Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, original song is a bag of shit.
It's
Yeah,
so
it's
bad.
not great either.
But like, I just don't think they had good choices.
That's the
this
thing. I
year,
couldn't remember all
frankly.
of the submissions from that year, but like just looking at what the Globes did, for instance, like not great either.
I'm sorry, just Erik was so emphatic with that. A bag of shit. Oh my God.
Awful.
I mean, when I'm looking at it and it's like Accidentally in Love is probably the one I would vote for. It's not great.
Yeah.
It's a
I
bad
mean,
sign.
That's not
Yeah,
good because then
right?
that goes to. Is that Smash Mouth or no? It goes to
No,
the
Counting
Counting
Crows.
Crows.
They
No,
performed.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
the
which,
bear.
you know,
I mean,
Justice for Colorblind from Cruel Intentions. I mean,
Oh my God.
Wow.
yeah. Believe, Learn to Be Lovely, the Phantom of the Opera song. Ooh.
I cannot even.
Look to your path.
sung by Minnie Driver. They couldn't get
I
her
mean,
to do it on the
They got
I have
Beyonce-
opinions about
I mean, they got
Phantom of the Opera,
Beyonce.
so I'm not going to
Come
get
on.
into it.
So okay. Anybody else? Any other below the line categories?
I have there's one movie that I desperately wanted to get just two below the line nominations, and I don't know whether it's this year or 2005 because international and dates, but Kung Fu Hustle is one of the funniest movies that I have ever seen, and it absolutely should have been nominated for best editing and best visual effects in whatever year it could have
love
been
that
nominated.
movie.
It's so good.
That's so much fun. God, is that 2005? Jeez.
I can't remember. It is.
I know it was
don't
at
remember.
Cannes, or it did a festival run in 2004. I just don't remember if it also opened here in 2004
I
or
just
not.
forgot that it was that old.
Yeah.
No. I'm looking here.
Stephen Chow, come back to us. We miss you.
Just give me a second. This is great for the podcast audio. I've got December in Hong Kong of 2004. I'm thinking this is a 2005 release.
I think it's
2005.
2005. It looks like it came out in the U.S.
Yeah.
in 05.
Yeah, we would. Yeah, you probably wouldn't be eligible until. But save it for next year, Dan. You can come back next year.
Oh, I will.
We do that.
We're going to talk about
Um,
with 2005. Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
the score, the Alexander Desplat score for Birth.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Birth in general.
Birth in
Birth in
general. We'll
general.
get
Birth in
there,
general.
But
I know we're gonna.
We're
We're
We
gonna
will
get
get
there. No, we're gonna get there.
there.
We're gonna get there.
But the score I did want to mention because it's pretty breathtaking. I don't always love his scores, but
20
that one is
20
One of
years
his most
later.
iconic, if it's not honestly
Yeah.
the most. That dun, 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 dun. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
but
20 years
That's it
later,
right
and
there.
Jonathan Glazer's still causing trouble, and we love it. We love to see it. We love to see it. I would change up some of the cinematography nominations. I would change up a lot of the category outside of Robbie Richardson. Like I think, like Collateral's cinematography is fantastic. I would not nominate $1 Million Baby. I know that is one of the criticisms of that movie.
The
And-
fucking
Yeah.
The shadows
in
are
that.
rough.
yeah.
That's
I'm
Tom
like,
Stern, though.
There's
yeah.
no reason for this
Yeah.
to also be a noir. Like,
Very gray.
Gotta say this.
But it's got a noir worthy ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if that does, then so does the Notebook. Like,
I gotta say,
Okay,
I know,
let's not get out of pocket here.
yeah, let's not get great. We're not saying we don't condone alcohol drinking while we're on the podcast. Well, unless you're Erik, I guess.
Excuse me? How many
but-
drunk podcasts have I done?
Yeah,
I was gonna that's every podcast.
more than
for-
you remember, Erik.
Yeah,
More than
exactly.
you remember.
Oh yeah.
What episode are we on? You know what I mean? Weirdly enough, and I know this sounds crazy, but I would nominate Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban for cinematography.
Yeah.
Parham knows how to make a beautiful looking movie, and I think that's actually almost like the aesthetic that they then use for the rest of that series after the nightmares of the first two looking movies from Christopher Columbus.
Eternal Sunshine is
My
another
favorite Harry
good
Potter movie.
cinematography.
Yeah, God,
Yeah.
the cinematography in Eternal Sunshine, incredible. But I love that we got both A Very Long Engagement and House of Flying Daggers in the cinematography this year. Those are two gorgeous looking movies.
Yeah, but
I do, but I think almost all of the lineup really represent such a mostly unadventurous idea of what cinematography is.
Yeah.
Where it's just
Mhm.
like it's most. It's like
Yeah.
what has the most color?
Yeah.
no,
I'll
I like the winner. I don't give a shit. Like
I don't know. I don't. That's not my
I
favorite.
go back
of
and
theirs.
forth.
Wins so
There,
much.
I love
it's
it.
another one.
It's like
that,
an Instagram filter before Instagram.
Yeah.
That's a-
I would have given it to
hate-
Birth.
Well,
Thank
yeah.
Of the nominees, I probably would have given it to Flying Daggers, but
Yeah.
it should have been Eternal Sunshine or even 2046, frankly.
Yeah, well, yeah. Phantom should not be here. I don't know what the fuck Phantom
Fuck,
is
yeah.
doing here.
Yeah,
I don't know what the fuck Phantom was doing with any of its nominations.
Anywhere.
But
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Josh.
No,
I-
it's all right. It's all right.
The
I
art
know
direction
I'm
and costumes
alone.
are lovely, but I just don't think they needed.
Well,
Oscars.
costumes
I
are
will
very
say
nice.
this. I will say this: of the
Great gowns,
tech
beautiful
noms that it
gowns.
does have, the cinematography is not my favorite. I
Yeah.
will at least say that.
All right. Shall we get into it as a team, as a group, as a bunch of
Let's do
Let's
it.
go.
All right. Let's do best adapted screenplay to start off. We have Sideways, Before Sunset, Finding Neverland. Gee, I wonder what we're replacing there. $1 Million Baby and The Motorcycle Diaries. Now we have to keep 3. Okay. So which 3 do you
Well, I would
think
definitely
we
say
should keep?
Sideways and Before Sunset.
Right? Everybody can agree on that?
Yeah, we gotta keep
Yeah.
Before Sunset.
That's yeah.
We know
I-
we're
I would
nixing
al-
Finding Neverland.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would also keep $1 Million Baby then. Right?
Yeah.
We're keeping 3.
I'm good with those 3. Yeah.
Okay. Buy Motorcycle Diaries. And especially Goodbye Finding Neverland. All right.
Yeah. Awful.
Now
Yeah.
the real fun begins. We do have 2 replacements. So start throwing some titles out there.
I mean,
If Mean Girls is
Mean
not in
Girls.
this category, I will riot.
Okay. Erik?
It
Like,
has to
I-
be.
I definitely agree. I would throw in Friday Night Lights,
Wow.
which I'm going to be putting forth
Mm.
in multiple categories.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Interesting.
How do you feel about Closer?
I was just gonna say
I like Closer.
I'm
there
here for
are
it.
there are
Yep.
so many lines of dialogue from that movie that I quote still regularly. So
Oh yes.
Is it Julia Roberts dialogue?
it is actually Natalie Portman.
No.
it's Natalie Portman.
Okay, good.
I
Although
mean,
the
I'm
other
sorry,
would
but
be
He
funny
Tastes
too.
Like You But Sweeter is
Ah,
on the
come
rotation.
on.
Mhm.
So savage.
Yeah.
Ah. And the thing
That's
is,
that's a
like,
burn.
if
That's
you,
a
if you
beautiful
have
burn.
ever read
Yeah.
the script for the play, like it's toned down.
Mm.
The movie is toned down from the play.
So hard to believe.
It's even more vicious. Yeah. They went there on stage. Oh my gosh.
Okay. So
No one wants to stick up for the Manchurian Candidate?
I recently
Because I don't.
no.
But that movie
No.
apparently has defenders now.
It's because
Yeah.
well,
But if
yeah,
they're not here,
they're
then-
not here.
Yeah.
They're
no,
not
I think
here.
you know,
I'm very glad that they're not here.
I mean
because
that
movie is
the original.
terrible.
No, the original is great. Capital G,
Fantastic
and then
movie.
and then the remake is like discount
fine.
demi.
It's okay.
Like it's like
So bad. It's so bad.
yeah, it's very that movie. I remember watching it when in the theaters when it came out. I was like, oh, cool, this is really good. And then I hadn't seen the original, and then I watched the original. Like, oh, that's a real fucking movie right there. So
Yeah, the Frankenheimer movie is excellent.
excellent movie.
Yeah. It's one of the
Angela
best.
Lansbury should have won.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
God.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Anything else? Anybody else want to bring anything to the table? No, nothing.
Mean Girls and Closer were the two that I had.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love one of my favorite Miyazaki's is House Moving Castle. I know that not a lot of people love that movie, but I really love that one.
That's another one. Isn't that technically 2005?
Is it 2005? I thought it,
Because
yeah,
it was
because it was
nominated for
nominated. That's
animated
right. That's
feature.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So,
I get it all mixed up, Josh. I'm sorry.
it probably had an international.
Yeah, it
release
had the
in
international thing.
04,
Yeah,
but it
I
didn't come
screwed
in
that one up. All
United
right.
States, yeah.
Oh, shut up. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So we're going to put Mean Girls and Closer in. Now the real fun part comes. We have to decide a winner. For me, it's Before Sunset, and it always has been. I love that movie. I think that script is magic, and I know that we would get another one in 9 years, and we had the previous one, but I still think this is the best of the three, and it is so dialogue driven, and it's so beautiful, and yeah, I don't think really screenplays like this win a lot, where it's just two characters talking the entire time, and so. But that would be where I would go. I don't know about the.
I am still on Team Sideways. I do.
Okay.
I understand the passion for Before Sunset. I am in preference with the last one. I think that's my favorite of the three. So, and I still really love Sideways. I just think that the banter with those characters is funny, but also very insightful at the same time. I
great
love
movie.
the story behind it. Yeah, I love Sideways. So I would still vote for that one.
It's Payne's best movie, I think, still.
By far.
Yeah.
It is his best.
But very close, I think, between that and Election for me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Election,
I love Before Sunset. Like I remember seeing that at home and not having even seen Before Sunrise, but knowing what it was, and was so enamored with everything in this movie. And I think that script is incredible. Of the nominees, like of the actual nominees, it would have been my pick. But with our new category, I don't think any of these screenplays hold up as well 20 years later as Mean Girls does.
Oh, wow.
I'm that for a like we were just saying how comedy just always
That's
ages
fair.
poorly, but Mean Girls has not aged a day.
Yeah.
And
Just look at the remake. Yeah.
I mean, the
Or
remake.
don't.
Or don't actually.
Unnecessary.
Sorry, folks. Don't do that. I don't recommend that.
It's not even a remake. It's a movie version of the musical, and the musical was bad to begin with. So, but it has aged so well, and the fact that she adapted a narrative feature out of a sociology research book that incorporated all those themes, but an original story, I think that is a feat of adaptation.
Yeah.
And that's why it would be my vote of the category we have.
Okay. Sophia?
Yeah, I mean, of the Oscar nominees, I would go with Sideways, and I love Sideways. Loved my rewatch. I think it's a great winner. But if we're thinking about screenplays that have held up over time, and we get the privilege really of like looking back 20 years later and what has really stood the test of time and has had the most significant cultural impact for its writing, that is Mean Girls. I mean, the fact that people are, and it's not just about dialogue, but the fact that people are still quoting this, that a musical has come from it, that again, like Dan was saying, that what she adapted was basically this book that moms were reading to learn about what was going on in their girls' schools. And she made it into what became one of the most, I think, iconic movies years later. I also I just have to, I think I have to go with that if I'm really thinking about this category.
All right, Erik.
All right. So what do we do? We have to pick from the three. And then what
God.
and I
It's just like explaining
I don't play
technology
this.
to my mom. Like it's like
From our
how do
new
I log in on the phone?
okay, but what are the final two? Where are we at?
Okay, so we are at
The
Sideways
final
Editions.
two.
Before Sunset.
With the additions, with the
Million Dollar Baby.
nominees and the two that we add.
I'm telling you them if you shut up.
All right.
Yeah.
Dan's
Sideways,
confusing.
Before Sunset, $1 Million Baby, Closer, and Mean Girls. Those are our picks, and that's what our category is now. And so you
Okay.
get to pick whatever you want out of that, and we will go from there as a group.
Okay. I'll start and say of the original five, I would go with $1 Million Baby.
Wow. Okay.
I know
Look
it is
at you, girl.
it's an
Okay.
unpopular opinion.
Scientology
It is
be
a
damned.
better screenplay than his other one.
Mhm.
I'll say
No,
that.
I was just I wanted to
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to clarify that it's an unpopular opinion, but I'm not a huge fan of Sideways or the Before movies the way that a lot of people are.
Yeah.
I have nothing negative to say about them or to anybody because
No,
I don't want to piss on somebody's thing that they love. Unless it's Ryan's, and then I'll
Yeah,
absolutely.
I do love those movies, and he's told me to
Huge
my
dump
face
on
how
it.
much they.
Yeah, I have done that.
He has done that, and I'm like,
intentionally to hurt you.
Motherfucker.
But yeah, but of the new, it's Mean Girls in a Walk.
Wow. Okay. Well,
It's
Tina Fey,
what
come
we-
on
what we-
down.
what we couldn't get for things like Clueless and all of those kind of movies.
Mhm.
These movies deserve so much more than they ever get. They're
Yeah.
so mistreated in terms of what they're saying. So that's an easy pick.
All right. We have
Sounds
decided
like it's Mean Girls.
it's not unanimous, but we are Josh
But
and
it
I
is
are in the minority.
majority.
Yeah, it's majority rules. That's okay. Mean Girls, Tina Fey. It's a great screenplay. I'm not gonna
Oh,
argue
yeah.
that. Yeah, I'm not gonna argue that.
Still a better
Classic.
pick.
WGA nominee.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
They
you
were
go.
brave enough.
They were brave enough.
The WGA
Well, it
has
wasn't
always
eligible,
been
though.
brave enough.
Right, yeah.
Like
Erik, would you like to read the next nominees for original screenplay?
Okay. The original screenplay nominees were Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which was the winner, The Aviator, Hotel Rwanda, The Incredibles, and Vera Drake. Actually,
right.
a really good lineup.
That's a really good lineup, I think.
Yeah.
What are the three? What are the three that we are keeping, folks?
well, we're keeping the fucking winner.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, I would assume from everybody here is staying.
I also think we should keep
also
Vera
something
Drake.
I'm not as big a fan.
Here
So
we go.
I have issues with Mike Lee getting screenplay nominations.
I know.
Just because of his
Yeah.
process.
His style
like that
and process,
it's just
yeah.
I just don't think that is the same thing as whatever. I don't think it
It should
should
say
be
like
nominated.
Mike Lee at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
like,
almost like the Borat movies getting nominated for screenplay.
Yeah,
to be
I-
honest.
right. Like
To
I
me-
just
yeah.
don't. Yeah.
I think the second easiest is The Incredibles from Brad Bird. I think that one should stay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would
I
keep that
agree.
one.
Yeah.
I'm good
Yeah.
keeping that too.
Yeah.
In
Right.
defense of Mike Lee being here, as we were just talking about, that screenplays aren't just dialogue. I think he absolutely deserves to be here, and every single time he gets in.
I don't agree. But
For me,
But-
that is like
Okay, it's okay.
that's not a hill I would die on in terms
but
of
I-
like keeping or throwing out. But like, yeah,
I would say in this lineup, though, if we have to keep three movies, I would prefer Vera Drake over The Aviator and Hotel Rwanda.
yeah,
Me too.
Same.
I
Me too.
disagree. It wouldn't be the film I would keep.
I
Would you
figured
keep The
that was
Aviator?
coming, Ryan.
I would keep The Aviator easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, there he goes, there he
Because
Okay, but
Avi-
does that mean that Ryan's outvoted and that
I am outvoted on
'Cause
this.
I feel
but,
like that it is.
Yeah,
But I just will go on record and say The Aviator is my favorite movie from this year. And I think it's one of Scorsese's 5 best films. And I think it is a
I will
masterpiece.
say this about The Aviator. It
And
did
I've
get
seen
better
it
on rewatch.
many times. Yeah, I've seen it many times. And it is weirdly a movie I watch all the time because I'm in
Yeah,
love
that
with
is weird.
the idea of the process and the biopic in general. And I'm not going to call it like one of the greatest films of the decade, because no movie from this year is the greatest film of the decade. That's There Will Be Blood. But I think that it gets a bad rap for its screenplay, because I think there's a ton of other movies like this that I don't think are as interesting or as good from a screenplay level. I've seen a biopic. I mean, shit. There's another biopic that's literally nominated for Best Picture or two biopics nominated alongside of it, and those screenplays are horrific screenplays in comparison to this. And so I think that it's not clearly like the best in this category, but it is one that I do like. But I understand I am outvoted. I just wanted to say my piece on it as it goes away alongside Hotel Rwanda, which is again another fine screenplay. It's not that great. No,
it's a good movie. Yeah.
It's a good
but
movie,
I would say we can get rid of it.
Yeah, that's not what I would keep a nomination for Hotel Rwanda for. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have 2 spots. We kept Vera Drake, The Incredibles, and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. So 2 spots. We can nominate things. By the way, I didn't ask this to the group, but it only feels right. And Josh, I know how much you love this movie. We didn't talk about it in an adapted screenplay because I think it would technically fall on that. Was Kill Bill Volume 2?
I was wondering about that too, because I don't know how you would really qualify that, because I know that sequels are
Technically, it
always
has
being
to be.
adapted.
It technically has to be, but it was.
But
it's not really a sequel.
It's not really a sequel because it was originally
given the production history. Yeah,
given
it was
that
written
one
and made
movie.
as one movie,
Yeah.
and they split it into 2. Because
Thanks, Harvey.
The reason why sequels are adapted is because you make one movie and then you create a new screenplay based on that other movie.
Yeah,
Kill Bill Volume 2
but that
is not
wasn't the
based on
case
Kill
with
Bill
this.
Volume 1. It's just part 2.
Yeah.
It's
of the
technically a
same
second
story.
act of a movie that is of one. So I didn't know if we wanted to consider it in original and kind of break. We can make our own fucking rules. I don't give a shit.
I feel like the Oscars would have deemed it adapted, though.
I feel like they might
rules,
not have actually, because I
a
feel like they
gray
would
area
have
for that one.
appealed. I feel like they would have appealed, and once you explain that this was one screenplay and that it was all on Miramax to cut it into 2,
nothing was adapted from.
And Tarantino still
Volume
considers
1.
it to be one movie because he's only made 9 movies up to this point.
Well, he made it as one movie.
Yeah,
which is that.
Yeah.
That's why I just didn't even consider it in my things for
well,
for
it was
at
in
least
my
the
original screenplay lineup, and then I rewatched it, and I was not as big a fan of the screenplay. I still love the movie, but
I
the
love the
screenplay,
movie though. Yeah,
I was just consider it because to me it's
was
not a full movie, and
that's fair. That's fair. I was just bringing it up.
Yeah, I understand. I had that same thought
I didn't
too.
mention it, but anyway, original screenplay nominees or movies you'd like to put to the table, folks.
I would mention Collateral.
Collateral. All right.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I have
like
so
that.
many.
I wanted to replace most of this category. I'm going to start with my most controversial, but I love this movie and I don't care whether the person who wrote it is an asshole or not, but I Heart Huckabees is a classic screenplay, and
that
Wow.
it might be my favorite Russell movie, to be honest with
it's
you.
really
It might be my favorite of
funny
his.
and it's so good.
I would put Anchorman up there. I think if you're talking about comedy, it's an incredible screenplay. Definitely also one that is just as quoted and memorable as Mean Girls in its trajectory. Definitely McKay's best film alongside Farrell. I quote that. So many people quote that over the years. It would be a movie that I would totally consider it. Also, a more subtle Adam McKay in terms of what he's trying to say about gender dynamics in the television industry.
We missed this Adam McKay.
I miss this Adam McKay a lot, and this Adam McKay is completely elevated, and it is a completely hilarious movie. I know it's also kind of weird because it's a lot like Mike Lee, where where does the improvisation
say.
begin and where does it
Yeah.
end? But if we're going to put Vera Drake in there for Mike Lee, I think that you can consider Adam McKay for this alongside Will Ferrell, who is his co-writer, which I think it's a fantastic film.
I think that's a decent one. I have
think-
another comedy that I was thinking of, which
I think it
you
may be
talk
the same.
about like not aging well. I know there's some parts of this that haven't aged that well, but man, Team America World Police.
Hell yeah.
is
Thank you,
one
Josh. Thank you.
That like
Yeah, Josh.
even in
Say the
04
truth.
comedy, it's like, man, there's some really great stuff in that movie.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is a bit more on the serious side, but still funny. I'm going to say, is Mr. Reincarnation enjoying his cake for birth? Of course.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
I have Birth on my list as well. And
It's a
also
dark fairy tale.
in the realm of problematic directors, Dogville, which
Yeah,
I-
thank you, Eric. Thank
Which-
you. I
which
love Dogville.
also deserved
Oh.
some acting nominations. and
Yeah.
somebody deserved, 2 lead actress nominations. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I'm also a very die-hard, this will come as such a shock, fan of Undertow, David Gordon Green with Jamie Bell.
Oh,
One
that
of
one.
His
Yeah, there's two undertows. Yeah.
Yeah.
best performances. I love that movie. It makes me weep. But on the flip side of all of that, Shaun of the Dead would
Yeah,
be
Shaun of the Dead.
I was gonna say, if you're
Like,
gonna do a comedy
the
from this
clever
year, Shaun of the
comedy
Dead is
pick
my
for
pick.
me.
Yeah.
But yeah, Team America is a perfect movie.
Good year for comedies. Really good.
Yeah,
year
I
for
will also
comedies.
throw out 13 Going on 30, a
Yep.
classic romantic comedy
And I
that
would-
does not
I'll-
have the problematic aspects of my other favorite romantic comedy from this year, 50 First Dates, that I may be alone on an island in loving, but I do.
I think both of those movies are fine. Those are fine movies. I like Collateral. I like the idea of Collateral.
I also, in this category, I think Maria Full of Grace has a really good screenplay. I think that's a great movie in general. I think Catalina Sandino Moreno is fantastic, but I think that it's also written really well.
Yeah. All right. Well, we had a lot to pick from, so we need to whittle
original's
this down
tougher.
too. This is a very tough category.
It's
Yeah.
so
We're
so
only
hard.
in the second of 8.
Yeah. Yeah, we're doing
Yeah.
okay.
This is going to be longer than
We
the
would
show.
still be an adapted screenplay in the old model, technically. So, like, we're moving a little bit better than what we used to. Okay.
That's true.
Because Eric would be like naming 20 movies and why they all mean so much to him. I'm just being honest.
I'm sure Eric is with me in thinking that Eating Out should have an honorary Best Picture nomination for this year. No, I mean,
Eating Out should absolutely be here 100%. Talk about a great anniversary movie. Oh, but also I would shout out Mean Creek, which is one of the most devastating and horrific movies of the decade.
Okay.
God, yeah.
So, what are we picking? Anybody just give 2 picks from each. Everybody just pick 2 movies.
Well, I think Collateral sounded like a decent one. I don't know.
Yeah. I would go with, of the ones we mentioned, I'd say Collateral and Shaun of the Dead.
It would be nice to have a comedy.
I want
in here,
Birth in there. I want
Yeah,
Birth
me
Oh.
in there.
You want Birth in there? I would.
Yeah.
I'd
I
put
know
Birth in.
I know I've got Sophia on my side, so we
Yes.
just need,
I
this
would be
is
good with
like
Birth,
Survivor. It's like
I've got
you know
Sophia
what,
on my
Josh?
side.
I'll go over to Daniel and we'll make an alliance.
How about Birth and Shaun of the Dead? How about that?
I think that's
Okay.
I think that's pretty good.
Because I want a
That's fine.
comedy.
That'd
in
work
here.
out really well for
Yeah,
me.
that would work out
I think
good.
that's
I
fine.
know that would.
And I do
that-
prefer Shaun of the Dead to Anchorman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a better movie than Anchorman.
Mhm. Okay.
And as much as I do love
Funnier.
Team America, I would be willing to say.
Yeah, I'm not. I would not put Team America. As much as I love that movie, I'm not.
And,
Bad,
and we talk
good.
about how it should have had all the Best Original Song nominations. So, like,
I would
I
have
mean,
loved to
America,
see
fuck
the,
yeah! I would say that should have.
Yeah,
won
I
original
want that
song.
performance on the telecast.
yeah.
Get Robin Williams back out there, just like he did with the South Park one. One of the most iconic performances. All right, so we have. I'm sorry. What, Eric?
No, I
you
was
had-
just gonna say there was a whole Robin Williams not controversy, but like thing about this year where he was gonna do this mock song about focus on family and all of the right-wing stuff. And
Remember that.
Yeah,
Yep.
they axed it at the last second. Yeah. So our nominees, the AwardsWatch nominees, are Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, The Incredibles, Vera Drake, Birth, and Shaun of the Dead. Now that's a lineup.
Iconic.
Okay. So what do we? Well, I know
The
what
Oscars
some
could
people are
never.
picking here, so I know.
I was like, I should go on Survivor. Getting Vera Drake and Birth in here.
Um,
I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
and Ryan's just sitting over here, and like, I guess nothing. I say it's getting in. All right. What do we think should win? It's a real question.
Eternal Sunshine is one of the best
I know.
winners of this category ever.
All right. That's clearly one vote for Dan to Eternal Sunshine. Josh?
I am Eternal Sunshine.
All right. Okay. Sophia?
I would go with Birth.
Okay.
Okay.
I knew that was
We know-
coming.
I
anyway.
know-
Sorry.
I know
knew
where
it was
Sophia's
coming,
going.
and now Erik is-
Her one.
But I
woman
do
birth
agree,
show
like
starting
Eternal
next week.
Sunshine is a good winner, and I understand like it
No,
probably would.
You got to
but
pick what is
I'm
what
picking
you
Birth.
want.
We understand. You don't have to
Speak your
explain. We
truth.
know.
Yeah, speak
I'm
your truth.
picking
Yeah.
We know what show we're on and who we're talking
Yeah.
about.
Come on. Eric,
Well,
here we go.
I mean, I'm going with Birth, but I know now that you, as the tiebreaker, I know where you're going. So, but I don't care about what might be seen as a throwaway vote. Birth is my winner.
You don't know where I'm going. I could
Pretty
easily
sure
be
you're
swayed.
going.
No, I
Do you
honestly,
want to be swayed? All right, let's go into chat, Sophia.
yeah. My Venmo is
like on Tribal when we like whisper
Live tribal.
Yeah.
Tribal. We're just gonna
Aw.
whisper to Ryan right in front of you guys.
I love both of these screenplays because they are very original and I'm going to give the edge to the movie that I've seen more recently thanks to the Criterion channel. Okay? And that is Birth. I'm going to give
They're
it a
both in the
Birth.
same series on the Criterion.
Yeah, they
channel
are.
right
But
now.
I did the Glazer rewatch because they had that in Sexy Beast, which is still a phenomenal movie. Technically, Glazer doesn't have an Oscar because of
No.
because
Bullshit.
Of,
Yeah.
because of bullshit and should change. So I'd be happy to give him this one for a very outside the box pick. And so,
I am.
yeah. So shut up, Eric. You don't know me at all, evidently. You know what I mean? But I do think Dan's right. I do think the Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind win is a really great win and one of the better ones because of recent memory. We were on a really good trend, and I think in the early 2010s of some really great original screenplay winners. We got off track towards the end of that decade and at the beginning of this one, and I think the Anatomy of a Fall wins kind of got us back on the right track of having a good winner here. They can celebrate. I love it when they celebrate really original ideas rather than like a career narrative or something that is just like the Best Picture winner or something like that. Like it's like I love creativity, and this is of that lineup definitely the most original, for sure. I just haven't. I meant to try to get to Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind this week, and I just was not able to get to the rewatch. But
It's available
is
on 4K
devastating.
now.
yeah, I know I have it on 4K, and
It's still devastating. It
yeah.
it is aged really, really well.
And okay, Eternal Sunshine, or I'm sorry, Birth and Mean Girls. Those are our screenplay winners.
I love that.
That's
I
kind
love
of
it.
I will say
chaotic and
that,
wild in the
like-
best way. All right, Dan, can you read the Best Supporting Actress nominees?
The Best Supporting Actress nominees for 2004 were Cate Blanchett from The Aviator, who happened to win, Laura Linney from Kinsey, Virginia Madsen from Sideways, Sophie Okonedo from Hotel Rwanda, and Natalie Portman from Closer.
Okay, who are we keeping, folks? We gotta keep
I
three.
think I'd keep one.
I know.
If that one isn't Sophie Okonedo, Erik.
It's not. Yeah. Eric's like,
I
I
wanna
mean, to be
keep-
honest, though, I actually would keep Sophia Okonedo.
I
'cause
would too.
I rewatched that
All
movie.
right,
I think she's really
great.
good in that film.
Yeah.
all right. Well,
If I had to keep two, she would be number
okay.
two.
All right. Well, we're keeping her evidently. So she's
I would
in.
keep
Natalie
Virginia
Portman,
Madsen.
obviously.
I don't know.
I like Virginia Madsen a lot.
Natalie Portman is my runner-up in this category. I would.
Honestly, the three that
want
we
to
just
keep
mentioned,
her.
those are
Yeah.
the three that I would keep.
Yeah, same.
Again, I'm the only one that's going to
Okay.
defend this.
Now this
Um,
one I'm actually going to say because I rewatched this movie. Cate Blanchett is bad
No.
in the
Yep.
Aviator.
It
I
is
think
a
she
good. It is a good Cate Blanchett performance. It is not a good performance of Katharine Hepburn.
No, I don't.
I think
she's
it's a very,
good.
very good performance.
I don't
and
think so.
I think it's a very deserving winner, but I'm going to once again be
Absolutely
outvoted
not.
on this. I clearly live on an aviator island,
And I
that is
like that.
okay.
Actually, Ryan, I like that movie. It's just that we're talking about the two things about it that I'm not a big fan of: the
No.
screenplay and Cate Blanchett.
Clear.
It will get better, but for this one, I don't think Cate Blanchett is very good in that
Yeah.
film.
Yeah, no,
I do like Kate. I love Kate,
Yeah,
but she wouldn't be my winner of the five. But I don't think
no.
I don't think that the person I'm picking is maybe anyone's winner. So we
Okay.
can get there when we decide.
Mhm.
And I like Laura Linney and Kinsey, but it's like
Oh, I love
You
Laura
know.
Linney. but-
Yeah, I mean,
I-
it's
like
a fine performance,
I
but
get
it
her out
doesn't
of
need an
there,
Oscar
yeah.
nomination.
she wouldn't be the
yeah.
one I'd keep.
It's a good Laura
Yeah.
Linney performance.
Yeah,
That's
All right.
any Laura Linney performance, but
yeah.
yes.
Like
Yeah.
it's fine.
Like-
It's not bad, but it doesn't
Right.
need a nomination.
Okay, so Laura Linney is gone, and so is Cate Blanchett. Sophia Ciminello's personality has just left the chat.
Well,
Like
my
the-
personality is Kate and Tar.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
to be
Yeah,
more specific.
specifically.
Her mothers
I mean-
have left. Like I know how much you love both of
Look,
those.
there was Kate in
Yeah.
pantsuits. Lots
I
of
love them
pantsuits.
both.
in there.
Lots of
That's
pantsuits,
true.
yeah.
I do love a
I was like,
high-waisted
these
trouser.
outfits are clearly you would wear them. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think that I think
like
the
Kate
negative
in the Aviator.
I think the negative response is that it doesn't ever really feel like she's playing Katharine Hepburn
Yeah.
the person. It feels like she's playing Katharine Hepburn in a movie. So there's never there's always that space in the middle. I never feel like she crosses that and
Mhm.
becomes a person. It
Yeah.
just
I don't
feels-
know.
it feels like-
I bought into it. I mean, I think early in the golf sequence, I think that's where she's the most over the top. But I think as the film goes on, when she's with him and her, obviously her frustrations with Howard, but then I think really like there's the scene where they're flying, and then when he gets caught in the beat field and she's like, taking care of him in the air and everything. I bought into Blanchett and DiCaprio's connection as a couple there. That's why when she leaves him at the, and everything, and then that scene at the door when he's gone completely, sheltered in, I think it's beautiful work. And I understand, like, yes, you could say it's because she's playing Katharine Hepburn is why she won, but I honestly wouldn't want anybody else to play that role, because I think that I only trust somebody as good of an actress as Cate Blanchett to actually do it, because I think it could go over the top more, and it could go crazier, and it could be more wild. And I do think that there are moments of her being very understated in it. But and yeah, Laura Linney and Kinsey, like a Kinsey is a movie that I'm like,
Yeah, and I do like Bill
yeah.
Condon, but like what was funny about rewatching Kinsey was like it actually reminded me of Ray. In
no
terms of, like,
shit. Him and
it's
Taylor
actually-
Hackford. Never
Yes.
seen
Like,
them,
the
and I mean,
structure of
like,
that movie feels like a musician biopic.
yes,
It's very weird.
this is
Yeah.
sex. We will have sex. I have a lecture about
But
sex.
like, it's the flashback to when he's a kid, and then the struggles when he's like in his 20s, and then
that's why I'm saying the Aviator script's not that bad, because it doesn't feel as Wikipedia paged as these things, and very, weirdly.
It feels like a
just
Wikipedia
safe.
page on speed. Like
Yeah.
that's why. Like
And who doesn't love speed, right, Eric? Anyway,
Hey!
yeah. So-
Wow.
all right, we have 2 spots to fill. let's throw some nominees out there. Let's throw some.
So,
some
are we
Is
people.
Rachel
going-
McAdams
I was
Rachel
supporting?
McAdams.
Are we going for Rachel
Yes.
McAdams or Amanda
Yes.
Seyfried? Which
I
one?
love them both.
Because I love them both.
I mean,
And may I also throw out there my little Chaos Gremlin vote, Isabelle Huppert and I Heart Huckabees.
oh, I love that pick.
That's fun.
Also, though, as an agent of chaos, Margot Martindale in $1 Million
You
Baby.
fucking would. All right.
And Judy Greer in 13 Going on 30.
Yes, I had her on my list too.
The chaos one that I was going to do is I was going to pick the other Cate from The Aviator.
Oh,
Oh,
Beckinsale.
no.
Ooh,
Beckinsale.
spicy. I like it.
I think Cate Beckinsale is phenomenal in that movie. I think she has way better chemistry with DiCaprio than
that is
Blanchett
true.
does. I
That is
love
true.
that she's so fiery,
love
but she also
that.
has this compassion with him too. Like the scene when he's really just so overboard and she goes to see him and cleans him up. Like, I think she is phenomenal in that movie.
I agree.
I would be on board with that, Josh.
I
Fuck you,
also
Erik.
because it's me, I have
This
to
is
say
Survivor.
Lauren Bacall in Birth.
Yes, I have her. I have
Yes.
her as well.
The
Will
way
anyone
she holds
else?
those close-ups? Oh my god.
Will anyone
I-
else join me on the Mandy Moore in Saved train?
Oh my god.
Oh shit!
No.
Jesus.
No.
Fuck, that's a great choice.
Thank you. And of course, Daryl Hannah in Kill Bill Volume 2.
That was another one I was thinking
that's-
of.
Yeah, Daryl Hannah, Patricia Clarkson in Dogville.
Ah!
This list is getting bigger and bigger, and it's going to be really
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
But it sounds like Rachel McAdams absolutely is like kind of a given.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
absolutely-
I think
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's kind of a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we have one more spot.
I think a chaos pick here would be fun.
That's what we're here to do, folks.
Come on, let's give it to the other Kate. Let's do it.
That would be so amazing.
Angelina
I
Jolie and
honestly-
Alexander. Let's go.
Wait, Lucy Punch and being Julia, anyone?
No, the idea of eliminating the winner, Kate, and putting in
It's
the other
too
Kate
good.
is
It's too
honestly
good.
Yeah.
too good.
As
and
much
I'm
as
here
I
for
love
it.
all the other performances that we talked about, probably more than that one, I agree. The gag is
It is.
too much.
All
This
right.
is really turning into an episode of Survivor, though.
All right. All right. Is that what we're going with?
All right. I
I
love it.
guess so.
Yes. Okay.
Wow.
So,
Incredible.
so we got in Blanchett
This is more fun
and,
as a
and
group.
Lenny out, and we have Kate
Ryan's like,
Beckinsale.
I'm never doing this again.
See,
Your
everybody was,
idea.
everybody, yeah, it was my
I
idea,
know.
and I knew it was coming, and it's gonna be a great birthday week, folks. Anyway, so Kate Beckinsale and Rachel McAdams are our replacements. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I know where this is gonna go, but who is our winner for Best Supporting Actress? Then at
I'm
this
going
point.
with Natalie Portman and Closer.
Same.
Okay, that's two for Closer. All right.
It's
I will actually go with Rachel McAdams.
All right. That's-
Oh,
Mm.
yeah. Mm.
Okay. All right.
Like, I love Natalie, don't get me wrong. But, like,
Yeah.
Okay.
The margin is very thin
It's so-
between
yeah.
Natalie Portman and Virginia Madsen for me, but I think I will give
Ooh.
the close edge to Virginia Madsen.
Virginia Madsen. Okay. So we have.
I'm changing my vote.
Oh.
I'm going Regina George.
No.
Okay.
I heard Regina George got nominated for an Oscar, so now I need to be nominated for an Oscar.
Well, I heard Regina George won an Oscar from the AwardsWatch group because I'm going to go with Rachel McAdams in Mean Girls as well
Woohoo!
because that performance is
It's so good.
iconic
Oh, God.
and
That is the ugliest effing skirt I've ever seen. Come on.
I love that character so much, even though she is a massive, massive villain and a bitch.
Whatever. I'm getting
But-
cheese fries.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and I just gotta
performance,
say
though.
this about Portman's great in Closer.
So
But
good.
God damn it, I just hate all those people. I really do. I just hate
Yeah.
them all so
Well, that's
much.
why they didn't.
And that's why it's so
win.
good. But it's just like I don't know. Virginia Madsen. I mean, sure. Okay.
No, I
lovely.
like her. I really
She's
like her. in
lovely.
that.
She's
Yeah,
great.
I agree with
She's
you.
lovely.
Eric's giving the eye roll. I agree. Yeah, it's
It's
just
fine.
it's there.
It's
It's
like, who
fine.
is this?
Yeah, who is this?
Look, she's
Virginia
better in
Madsen?
1985, but no one else has seen that movie. So
Sure. Okay. Let's do Best Supporting Actor. Sophia, kick us off.
Okay, we had Morgan Freeman for Million Dollar Baby. He was our winner. Alan Alda for The Aviator, Thomas Hayden Church for Sideways, Jamie Foxx for Collateral, and Clive Owen for Closer.
Gotta
Thank
say
you for
this.
giving me the honors there for reading Clive Owen and Closer.
You're welcome. I gotta say, I
Yeah,
really like
that's
this
a Sophia
lineup.
man, by the way.
Yeah,
that
that's-
is
yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
a Sophia man.
Sophia man.
Very much so. This is a really good lineup.
For better or for worse.
I think.
Yeah.
Well, it
Yeah.
is, except for the obvious case of category fraud. But he's such a good performance that I
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's like either everybody's the same,
And it's his better performance.
Everyone's lead or everyone's supporting.
I
is the
agree,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
But that's the
Fox's
thing.
best
Like,
performance of the year.
if I had my way, both of them would be in lead.
Oh, I
Or
agree.
you drop Jude
or
Law
you-
and
Yeah.
Julie Roberts down to supporting.
Oh no, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Clive Owen, Josh. I thought we were talking.
Well,
About,
Oh, I was
well,
talking
yeah, but
about
like
Jamie
either-
Foxx.
we were talking about Jamie Foxx and Collateral.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
If anything, I'd flip them, and I think Cruz is actually supporting, and
Mhm.
Fox is the lead. But-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Which
table
he is
that-
on
I
my
agree.
on my
Which
list.
I would,
Yeah.
honestly, I would totally kick Jamie Foxx out of this category to put Tom Cruise in because he's definitely in my.
Yeah.
I
We'll-
would.
We'll get to that in a
Yeah,
minute.
we'll get to that in a minute. We got to eliminate. Well, we
One
don't
step at a
have
time here.
again. We
One step at
don't
a
have to
time.
eliminate two. We can keep if you do like the lineup. We can keep as many of these as you want. It's not
No,
mandatory.
I would get rid of
to-
Jamie Foxx and Alan Alda, which I know.
Yeah.
All right, here's the defense again.
There we go. No, I think Aldo's really great in it. I actually don't think he's the best supporting performer in The Aviator on the male side. I mean, like speaking of Jude Law, he's great in his one scene as Errol Flynn in
I do.
The Aviator.
He is very fun.
I think Alec Baldwin is actually really good as and you know as playing his sort of rival in the film. I think John C. Reilly is great as his sort of like accountant, kind of keeping it all
Yeah.
together. So
Yeah.
I do think Alda makes sense from a career standpoint, and he does have the scene where he puts the thumbnail on the glass and he serves it like the fish, and the Senate hearings and everything, which are sort of the culmination of the end of that film. I think he's very good, but he's not my favorite of that. No, so you know, he's giving his own version of Louis Strauss, I guess. But I would eliminate him, and I would be okay with that. And yeah, I mean, I would get rid of Fox just because it's category fraud. Yeah, I think Josh is
A
right.
good performance.
It's
but
very good
not-
performance. We might talk about it here in a little bit. We might. I don't know. We'll see. But is everybody okay with those replacements or
Yeah.
kicks out? Everybody can kick them out?
Yep. Yeah.
Eric, you all right with that?
Yep.
Okay. All right. All right. Those are the two. That was fairly simple and easy. Now the hard part. Who are we replacing them with? Obviously, I'm just going to put it out on the table. Tom Cruise in Collateral, one of his best
He's on my
performances.
Yep.
Fucking
absolutely.
incredible performance.
My second, the other one is David Carradine for Kill Bill Volume 2.
That was
No
same
shit.
thing. Those are my
Yeah.
two.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I would.
The only other person I was even considering from anything was Mark Ruffalo in 13 Going on 30.
He's on my list, but I knew he wouldn't make the cut, so it wasn't a totally serious nomination.
I would.
But he's so
Wow.
good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I have none of that.
Eric.
What do you have, Eric?
Although I would be 100% supportive of Tom Cruise in here. 100%.
Okay.
So if you need to sway my vote, just let me know.
Okay.
I would throw out Ryan Kelly in Mean Creek, Garrett Hedlund in Friday Night Lights.
Ooh, not Tim McGraw.
I have
He's
both
really
of them.
good.
I have both
That-
of them.
He's,
But I
gets that
think
tape
Headland's-
out.
Really good.
I think Headland's just a little bit better. He just feels
Yeah,
more
he-
like a real performance. Tim
he's good
McGraw
in that
feels a
movie.
little more like, hey, I'm acting.
Yeah.
I'm a musician, but here I am acting. He is really good.
I always forget about Garrett Hedlund in Friday Night Lights until someone reminds me of
He
that,
is-
and I go,
Derek Luke's really good too.
"Yeah."
And Friday Night Lights.
Derek
He's a
Luke
good-
is they're both
Yeah.
so good.
that scene in the car where he's breaking down because his football career is over. It's like, God, I've
It's-
seen that happen
it's-
many times.
It's pretty intense.
Insane.
Jamie Bell and Undertow.
Mhm.
I again, one of those just I kind of will sort of live and die on that hill because I love that movie so much. I kind of am trying to figure out like who I would go with from Vera Drake because I think there are a lot
Yeah.
of really good male performances in it.
Mm.
I think Eddie Marcin's really wonderful.
Mhm. Oh,
But-
yeah.
I think Phil Davis is so good. But at the end of the day, I probably wouldn't go with any of them because I can't really pick.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
So yeah.
Wait, what's his face? Is Bettany in Dogville? Do you think he's a lead or a supporting?
I think there's only one lead.
Yeah. I think
That's what I think too.
I think there's only one lead.
That's what I think.
I have a chaos pick, and no one's gonna ever agree with this because this is just shout out to contributor to AwardsWatch, Director Watch, co-host Jay Ledbetter. He and I love Steven Soderbergh's Ocean's 12, and Vincent Cassel would be an easy contender for Best Supporting Actor. Talk
That's
about
fun.
a fucking hot man. I also would consider Gary Oldman for Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban as Sirius Black. I think he's phenomenal.
Oh.
And
Also a good pick.
yeah,
And the
and
best in
then
the series. So
yes, it is.
My favorite.
And
Oh wait,
easily.
I just realized another one that would be a little bit of a gag based on what we've done so far. But I don't know. Maybe one of you or two of you have seen this one, but Kyle MacLachlan as Cary Grant in A Touch of Pink
Oh my God.
All right,
is
okay.
so good.
All right.
I do remember this.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to be
Wow.
on like nomination worthy, but it is.
Yeah, this is like
Very
this is just
Worth
That's
mentioning.
chaos.
pretty.
Yeah.
That's pretty from the vault there, Dan.
Yeah. I mean, I love how they like. I wonder if anybody's going to remember this movie. Look at the group that you're talking to right now.
Okay, we gotta focus. We gotta get some.
We're gonna whittle.
We gotta whittle this down. What do we pick?
I mean, I'm very much for Tom Cruise in Collateral.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, me too. Like I said, I'm
Very
100% behind
much.
that.
I'm very Cruise for Collateral. Like fuck, he's so good in that movie. Oh, by the way, Alfred Molina's Spider-Man 2 is phenomenal.
Oh,
That
yes.
movie, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Actually, we didn't mention this before, and she wouldn't have been a serious pick, but Rosemary Harris is like giving a real performance.
Yeah,
in
She
that
that movie
movie.
is
shocking.
I love that
incredible.
movie.
She's got like, I believe there's a hero in all of us. It's like, okay, lady, we get it. You won an Oscar now. I'm like,
Yeah.
No,
congratulations.
but like that scene when
So good.
Peter is confessing about what happened to Uncle Ben, and she gives that look of like not fully embracing, but has to just take in that information. Like
Yeah,
this is like a family drama. What's this doing in Spider-Man 2?
yeah. No, it's
She
great.
is an actress.
Look, yes. She understands the assignment.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but Melina's good
She,
too.
she
And-
transcends the assignment.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so we have Cruise.
We're down to one.
We're down to one, folks.
I mean, I do really love David Carradine in Kill Bill. I do really like that performance personally.
So
It's got
good.
the Superman monologue. It's
So
fantastic.
good.
Yeah, it's so good. His whole
I'd be into that.
I'm
God.
good with that.
I love the
If we
idea of
wanna
like
do those 5.
originally that was
Cruise and
supposed to be
Carradine.
like a big
Yeah,
twist and everything in that original movie, and you were in the audience because it was going to be like a 4-hour and 5-hour movie, and that was going to be.
well,
a
do you
big
know who was
twist.
originally who Tarantino wanted for that role?
Oh, you wanted? Oh God,
It's good.
who did he want again?
He wanted Warren Beatty.
Yeah, that would have been fucking
Oh my God.
great.
That would have been so epic.
Talk about an Oscar nomination. Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that would have been so good.
But I think
Oh,
Carradine does an
Oh,
exceptional
Carradine's
job.
phenomenal.
He is so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That voice is just
Okay.
that's all you need.
So we're gonna lock in Carradine and Cruz.
I think so.
Sounds like it.
I think that those are great nominations. Okay. All right. So out Alda and Fox and Cruz and Carradine. Join Hayden Church, Clive Owen, and Morgan Freeman. Who do we give this Oscar to?
In the most predictable statement ever, I'm between Thomas Hayden Church and Clive Owen.
Yeah, same.
But but I think I'm gonna I'll give the edge to Clive Owen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Josh? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, exactly the same. I think that the top two for me are Thomas Hayden Church and Clive Owen. Very close between those two, but Clive Owen I think is amazing, so I would give it to him.
Dan?
I want to give it to Clive Owen, but I actually think Morgan Freeman is really good in $1 Million Baby, and I can't take away his Oscar win. I just can't do it.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Erik?
Going from the R5 picks,
Yeah, we're going for R5. I mean, clearly the Academy gave it to Morgan Freeman, so.
I would go with Tom Cruise.
Really?
Nice.
Well, you know what?
I love Morgan Freeman. I think he's wonderful, and I'm glad that he has a win. And I love Clive Owen, obviously. But I'm going to go for Cruise.
I'm with Erik. I'm going Cruz. I'm going Cruz. That performance is so fucking good, and it's one of the last ones we have from him where he just fully gave himself over to the auteur and Michael Mann, and it's completely against type, and he's just, I mean, the moment he's on, every moment he's on screen is just like, holy shit, he's so unpredictable, and yeah, it's one of my favorite performances by Cruz. I give it to him easily.
99 to 04 was peak Tom Cruise. And
Yes.
that's a hill I will die on.
Yeah. So
Well, with a little resurgence in 08.
Yeah. What for what?
Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's fine in that. Okay.
It's clownery.
Yeah, it's
But, you know.
But who knew Tom Cruise had that in him at that point?
he's like the 5th best performance in that movie, but okay. I'm just saying.
It's a movie full of really great
really good
performances.
performances.
So.
So
We're
we have
split right now.
So we have 2 for Thomas Hayden
Do I have
Church
to break this?
and
No, for
2
Clive
for
Owen.
Tom
No, for
Cruise.
Clive
Oh, Clive
Owen.
Owen. I'm sorry, for Clive
Yeah.
Owen, and 2 for Tom Cruise. So yes, Dan. Unfortunately, your vote is thrown away, much like the preferential ballot, and you have to decide. But I don't know, based off of these 2 men that stand before you.
Like I said before, I wanted to give it to Clive Owen, but I couldn't take it away from Morgan Freeman. So now that Morgan Freeman has been taken away from me, I guess I get to give it to Clive Owen.
This
You don't.
really is Survivor.
Yeah, you really don't have to do that, but you did.
love
So
it.
you could have given it to Tom Cruise. You know what I mean?
I'm
So,
saying he was my runner-up.
well, things change. People contradict. No, it's okay. Clive Owen, closer. He's an Oscar winner amongst us.
Good job,
It
Josh.
should have been. Yeah.
Amen. Amen.
Josh Parham. It only makes sense. Can you please read the nominees for Best Actress, Josh?
Yeah, makes sense after this year, especially. Yeah.
I love you, buddy. I love you.
That's all right.
I meant to
Hopefully-
text Josh this week and see how he was doing, but I knew I was podcasting.
If anything, I just hope it gets people off my back next year. So.
Yeah, leave Josh
It wasn't
alone.
gonna
God damn it. Yeah.
Leave Josh alone.
Okay, so Best Actress this year, we have Hilary Swank for $1 Million Baby, who was our winner. Annette Bening for being Julia, the rematch. Catalina Sandino Moreno for Maria Full of Grace, Imelda Staunton for Vera Drake, and Kate Winslet for Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
All right. I'm going to say it. Bye, Annette Bening. Like, bye. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I love all of these performances, and even though there are other people I want to see, I wouldn't necessarily change this lineup.
Wow.
I'm not
a good
sorry at all.
lineup.
Move Annette.
Just keep swimming down the way.
I
Yeah.
love her in being Julia. Like, I don't think
I
she
do
should have
too.
won, but I love her in it. I think she's delightful.
I
That
think
final
she's great.
scene on stage is just A plus.
She'd be the only one I'd move out of this lineup. Easily.
But
But we have to make another
I want to
decision.
put in.
I know.
If we
So-
have to cut someone out, I guess it would be her for me.
Okay. So buy a net. Does anybody want to cut anybody else?
Mm,
I mean,
This is a fucking stellar lineup.
it
I
is.
know.
it
It's
is
really
pretty
good.
good. Like
Even with Kate Winslet in it.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You're gonna start
I
shit.
mean, I think I would be.
I'm just-
I would be okay. It's gonna make it tougher, obviously, for the sub, but I'm good with just getting rid of Benning.
Sophia,
Oh my god.
is there somebody you would get rid of?
I have two that I really want to put in. That's
But
why
who would you
it's
kick out?
So who would you
that's
kick
the- I
out?
know. That's the
I
hard
do-
part.
I do too, but I know there's one that has to make it in, Sophia.
Yeah,
So
I know. There
we
is.
need to,
All right,
to
this
pull these
conspire
votes together.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's-
You're
there's-
thinking what
there's
I'm
a-
thinking. You're thinking, Eric. It's the other performance that should be.
Well,
in,
what if we did what
so-
they used to do and we nominate one person for two movies?
Yeah.
Hello, National Society of AwardsWatch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay. I'm okay with it because the one I cannot get rid of is Imelda Staunton. That's
No.
like my
No.
She's so good.
top of
And
the
I'm not getting-
top of
and-
the
God.
heap.
And Hilary Swank is right up there. I think she's fantastic in $1 Million Baby.
Mhm.
That is her
She's
best
really,
Oscar win.
Really great.
Not
Yeah.
boy song. Like if we were doing that other year, I'd be like, bye, get her out of there. Yes, I would. Yeah, I'm now. I'm saying my
Right.
piece.
Did you just say you would eliminate Hilary Swank from contention for 99?
Yes.
He did, which
Oh,
whatever.
That'll be an episode
That'll
later
be
this
one
year.
episode.
We'll have that conversation later.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna fight.
She's
We're
gonna be
gonna
crying
fight.
about something, all right. That's for sure.
Yeah. Okay, I'm fine. I guess. Yeah. Mm.
It's like I have not seen Maria Full of Grace in a while.
I was about to say,
She
all
is
y'all want to kick the Latino out
so
so
good.
bad.
You better not kick her out. She is.
I just haven't seen that movie in
incredible.
forever. I'm sure
Yeah.
she's great in it and very
She's
deserving. I
very,
guess.
very good in it. She's
Yeah.
very good in that.
I mean, if I
At
had
the
to
time-
kick out
If I had to
another,
kick
it'd be
somebody out,
Kate.
it would be Winslet.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
honestly, I don't even think Winslet is a lead. I think it's so much, from what I remember, it's very Carrie focused. And so,
It actually, like, yes, but I think she's still a lead. She is very.
but it's also
present
Winslet,
throughout
one of my,
that film.
it's one of Winslet's better performances and one of her better nominated performances too. So
Yeah.
that's the other.
Well, when you look at what's there.
Yeah, I know. Well, I understand that, Eric. But
But I would also be supportive of eliminating Kate Winslet.
I know you
No.
fucking would. I know.
No,
I'm not.
no,
I'm not doing
no.
Well, that would mean, I mean,
Nope.
you know what? I'll put it out there as well, just to make Sophia make the tiebreaker for that one. So, yeah, I would eliminate Kate Winslet as well.
So mean.
And hey,
No.
don't hate on the Aviator. Maybe you wouldn't have this happen to you. You know what I mean? I hate the player.
I'm only gonna-
He's
playing
doing
the
this on
game.
purpose, Sophia. He's doing this on purpose
I know
to get what
he
he
is,
wants.
but my other replacement I think is better than Kate Winslet, so I'm gonna kick her out.
Goodbye, Kate
Who?
Winslet.
Who? I
Lindsay
now
Lohan
I
and Mean
really want
Girls.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I
okay.
wouldn't.
Okay,
I wouldn't.
okay.
I would.
I respect that. I
She's my
respect that.
second replacement. My
I
first
respect
one is
that.
the top. Is my
Yeah.
yeah.
wouldn't
I
even-
respect that.
Okay. So,
So
goodbye.
here's a
So,
question. Here's a question.
I have an answer for you.
Unlike the Oscars, do we allow two people to be nominated in one category? The
You
same
mean
person?
one person to be nominated twice?
Twice? Yeah.
I think
Do
we
we
can
allow
make up
that?
our own rules a little bit about that. You know,
I think
Yeah.
so too.
the Awards Watch team, we can do whatever.
Okay.
we want.
Cool.
I mean, it's kind of lazy on
Because
your
we're going to
part,
be
but-
fighting over which is the better Nicole Kidman performance, and it's Dogville.
Okay. Annette Bening. Goodbye. Kate Winslet. Love you. Goodbye.
I'm so sorry, Dan and Josh.
I'm so sorry,
I
Liz.
really am.
And I'm sorry
But
it was Lindsay that did it for me, but
Yeah. I
Look,
do
Lindsay
hope to get your
Lohan-
votes at Final Tribal, though.
Lindsay Lohan in Mean Girls that is a great performance. That is a star-making performance.
Mhm.
That movie does not work without her. She's great. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. It's time. What are we replacing these two with?
I've said Nicole. The only other person that I even considered to replace anyone in this lineup is Julie Delpy in Before Sunset. And she's a genius. And that scene in the car when she almost touches him is maybe the single best piece of screen acting of that year.
Yeah, she would be like third on my replacements list. So
She's really good. I mean, I feel like obligated to say Uma Thurman. For
damn right, you're
Kill Bill
obligated.
Volume
Don't
2,
be
you know.
obligated. Say it with your full
Jeez.
chest.
Yeah.
Uma
So there-
Thurman, Kill Bill Volume 2. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's who I'm
And-
bringing to the.
And I have another
Council
one
meeting.
that I know. I'm just gonna say this. Like I absolutely know this is not going to be taken
Say
by
it, Josh.
anybody, but it is a pure chaos pick that I absolutely love,
I love it.
and it's Jennifer Tilly
Yeah.
for Seed of Chucky.
There you go.
Holy shit balls.
I
I think that
love
is an
this.
incredible performance. Like I said, I know it's not going to get taken, but I just want to say it just to support her because I think that is a brilliant deconstruction of her own personality that she is just 100% game for, and it's so fun to watch. And she's basically playing two characters in the movie as well. I think it's amazing, and it's a horror movie, which obviously doesn't get any kind of contention. So that's what I'm going to say. It.
Jiminy Christmas.
It's really that's a bold pick, Cotton. I like it. We'll see how that turns out. I love that, Josh. That's a good. No, Josh is not wrong. It's actually a really good performance.
Yeah.
I assume the conspiring between Sophia Ciminello and Erik Anderson is because of a Nicole Kidman performance
Nicole
that we
Kidman.
gave
The
a
inferior
screenplay
Nicole
award
Kidman performance
in a little movie called Birth. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
that is correct. But I was wondering if we could cheat and nominate her for both movies as one pick.
Oh, you want to put her up for both roles?
Yeah.
You want to like?
I mean, technically, she has 3 leading performances
Oh,
this year,
that's-
but we're not going to talk
We're
about the
not going
third
to talk about.
one.
We're not going
What
to
was
talk
the,
about
what was
that.
the third one again?
Stepford Wives.
Be grateful because I almost did a chaos pick from that one in supporting actress.
You almost did Glenn Close, didn't
my
you?
God, Glenn Close. Shut up.
No, Bette Midler.
Oh, bad.
Okay,
Midler.
good.
Okay. All right. Sorry,
I'm
Kevin.
like, wait
Sorry,
a-
Kevin
wait a
Jacobson didn't mean
minute.
to disappoint you again.
Wait a minute.
Okay. It's up to the
Obviously,
vote. It's up to everybody.
I would support that because my top 2 would be Nicole Kidman in Birth and Nicole Kidman in Dogville.
Mhm.
I would support that. Then we have another spot
Just because you're nominated for two.
because it's our show and not yours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's our show.
Because
I
we're
like it
more-
cleaner with one person with one
Yeah,
performance, but
no, you're
for
right.
this, I think it's fine.
That's fine.
Look, if it's good enough for Lafka, it's good
Yeah.
enough for us.
Yeah. Who are they really? Anyway, small acts. All
They
right.
used to have a Best Actress category.
Okay. So I assume we're going to just nominate Nicole Kidman.
Yeah,
The
we'll do
doubleheader.
We're just going to put her in there. Just as a person. She didn't even do
Yeah,
anything.
just as-
Nicole Kidman, just perpetual Best Actress nominee, Nicole Kidman.
The
For what movie? It
institution
doesn't
that is
matter.
Nicole
For just
Kidman.
existing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So
I
we have.
mean, this is going to happen in 2001. So,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
she'll just get nominated for the right performance.
Fine. Yeah. No. We'll talk about
She
that then.
sings, she dances, she dies. What more do you want
Oh,
out of
no,
an Oscar
not
campaign?
that one.
Not
Out
that
of an
one.
Oscar campaign is what I'm
No.
saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, it's not a good performance. Anyway,
I
okay.
will fight you, Ryan McQuade.
It's not a good
I will
performance. and
throw hands like Jake Gyllenhaal in Roadhouse.
It's not a good movie. Both Roadhouse and Moon.
Yeah, but there'll be jazz hands. So,
It will be.
All right,
That's
back
true.
on track. We need one more replacement. My
I
vote
still
is
stand by Julie Delpy, but I will also throw out Jennifer Garner for 13 going on 30 because look, the woman deserves an Oscar nomination. Between this and Juno, she should have had one.
I vote for Uma Thurman easily.
I also
That's my
backed Uma
vote.
Thurman as
Yeah.
the second pick.
We can't have Carity,
That's
but not
fine.
Uma Thurman.
Yeah, come on, guys. What is that, like nominating Ken and not Barbie? Come on.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Lindsay, but
R.I.P. Julie, but
Well, we did give an Oscar technically to the best performance in that movie, so in Mean Girls. So it's fair.
we did.
Yeah, so that's good. Lindsay Lohan, she'd be fine. She's got a career 20 years after this, right? You know?
Irish Wish.
Yeah. Irish Wish, get it on Netflix right now.
Oh, Lord. But I love her and I'm happy for her. And yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so now we have to pick a winner.
If we're
She's
really
mine, too.
saying
I
the
did the
winner
whole
can
thing.
be,
I did everything with Nicole, I know, but Staunton is my winner still. I
I will say
rewatched
if-
it this week and I was floored and devastated and couldn't believe I was watching that.
When the cops show
performance.
up and the
Oh.
smile that disappears, my God.
she
Yeah.
is great in all capital letters. But if we're really saying that we can give an Oscar to Nicole Kidman for both performances that she gave this year, I'm going
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
Like, sorry.
No, it's right.
Like,
I
body
really-
of work.
I-
Sometimes the body of work just stands out.
This is complicated though, because
Mhm.
even in this world, Kidman already has an Oscar, and Staunton obviously does not. So part of this looking back
She'll
is
still have
that
the crown.
is that we can right wrongs. I would love a Nicole Kidman and Imelda Staunton stare off though between Birth and Vera Drake, and whoever blinks first loses. That's how I would actually decide who I would pick.
Like,
Um,
Imelda Staunton in my world still gets one for Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. So
okay, work. All right. Because I think the fight to get Kidman in here for both is its reward, I think I would lean Staunton. It's a for the ages performance.
she's incredible.
It's yeah.
All right. Imelda Staunton. She's our winner. All right.
Who would you vote for, Ryan?
Well, it doesn't matter. I got to.
Well, we still wanna
I know, but you
No.
still
We're
Who would
curious.
you vote for?
I don't know. I don't know. Hilary's really good. I think that's again her best performance. Stunts, like that's an all-time performance. So, but I think Uma Thurman's incredible in Kill Bill Volume 2 and in still Tarantino's best character he's ever written, and the sort of it's kind of like Dan, what you were talking about for Julie Delpy is that is a creation within the director and the actress, and it's so important and vital, especially to like their history and over that long film and everything. And then Kidman's year is even Stepford Wives, like they're the range. You're seeing the range of an actress in 3 performances. But like Imelda Staunton's one of those. You're just like, man, I think an Academy, today's Academy, would give her that Oscar pretty easily, in my opinion. I think so. With the international vote and everything, I think it would change.
I don't think so at all.
I don't
With
think
the
so.
BAFTA
movie
and
is
everything?
too small.
Oh, I think
And with
I
the
think
Best
she would
Picture
win.
win for $1 Million Baby, I just feel like
Yeah,
it would just
that's
be like swept up in it.
Hey, I don't know. Coda's won Best Picture. Finding Neverland could have won. You never know. So I'm just kidding. It's called a joke. No, I'd give it a stun. I think that's kind of the right call. All right, Best Actor. We have Jamie Foxx for Ray. We have Don Cheadle for Hotel Rwanda. We have Johnny Depp for Finding Neverland. We have Leonardo DiCaprio for The Aviator. And we have Clint Eastwood for $1 Million Baby. All right. Have at it.
Well, we're definitely dropping Johnny Depp.
Definitely.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Easy.
Jamie Foxx. Yeah.
Ooh, interesting.
The showboating. I would
Absolutely.
I would cut out
The-
Leo too. This is one of my least favorite of his nominations.
I still think this is Leo's best performance in a Scorsese film. and one of his best performances.
When
Period.
The Wolf of Wall Street exists.
Yeah, I think it's better than The Wolf of Wall
Yeah.
Street.
Damn.
Easily.
Ooh,
And
no.
I think he's better in the second half of The Aviator than he is in the first. I have a big problem with the first half of The Aviator. That's when I don't really like it that much.
I think Cheadle's a great nomination.
Cheadle is the
is-
best in this category.
Cheadle
for
would be
me.
my
Yeah.
winner. Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, he wouldn't be mine.
pretty
but,
easily.
and in Eastwood,
Amongst this group, he is my favorite. Yeah.
I think Eastwood's giving a very, very good performance.
like
It's
Eastwood.
one of his last,
I
Really good
genuinely like
performances.
him. Yeah,
and
I like him a lot.
I would get rid of Jamie Foxx for Ray.
Mhm.
A movie that paved the way for Rami Malek, and
Oh my God.
I mean, come on, am I wrong? They both
No,
lip sync
it's
over
great.
tracks. It's cradle to grave, and then I don't hate Johnny Depp in this clearly as much as everybody else, but I don't think it's nearly his best work, nor is it like as good as the nomination the year before for Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the
Yeah.
Black Pearl. So yeah, I would agree on elimination of those two. So therefore, who do we replace Jamie Foxx and Johnny Depp for in this lineup? I mean, we could go Jamie Foxx for Collateral. It's sitting right there too. If you-
I
And
would.
Jim Carrey for Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. How he doesn't have a single Oscar nomination for his whole career is mind blowing to me.
Yeah, for me, this would be Jim Carrey and Paul Giamatti. Like those are the easy two
that's-
for me.
Yeah,
Paul Giamatti was my number one.
Yeah,
Okay.
he should have won the Oscar. Wasn't even nominated.
I would say we could also take out Leo, and then we could also put Jamie Foxx in for Collateral as well. But
yeah, but we can only take out two.
Oh, that's right. I was like, can't we take out three or more?
more.
Not even the game.
Just make an edit here so we can get rid of Leo.
I made a rule in the last category. I can
Yeah.
do it.
Eric?
This is so hard.
It's not really.
I do have to say at the time, I did get to have a brief claim to fame of predicting Giamatti's snub and for Eastwood to replace him in it. That was I really loved that
Nice.
moment. This I don't think any of my choices are gonna stand a chance of
Okay.
getting in.
Jim Caviezel.
Because they would be Lucas Black in Friday Night Lights, Tony Leung in 2046, and Bruno Ganz in Downfall. Those are
I
names
would wholeheartedly support Bruno Ganz. Wholeheartedly.
yeah, that is
That is an incredible performance. Like, there's a reason that thing became a meme.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah, I mean, it's almost unfortunate, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
but, like,
very
it's
You
unfortunate.
can't watch the
because he's-
scene for real now.
I know,
yeah.
but he's goddamn good.
No, he is that good in it. So
Yeah.
if anyone wants to support that would be my pick of my three that I would get behind.
I wholeheartedly support that one.
Yeah, but I just don't know. Like, what I would support it if it would be like over Jim Carrey, but I don't know how popular that is with the group, though. I don't know how
Yeah,
much
Jim
we
Carrey
want
would
We
Jim
not
can
be
Carrey.
have
on my list.
both. We can have both.
If we were
But
talking,
then we gotta
Yeah.
drop
Paul
Giamatti.
Giamatti, I
and-
really want to put in.
Yeah, I
That's
need
like, yeah.
Giamatti in the lineup. That's the thing. No. I need Giamatti in this lineup.
I
If
mean,
he'd
like,
been in
if,
this lineup, then people wouldn't have fallen over themselves for the holdovers, which is basically the same performance.
there it is. I think if we were talking about the Truman Show or Man on the Moon for Jim Carrey, maybe. But I think this is a good performance too. I'd be okay with Giamatti. I think that's like one of the bigger snubs of the last 20 years, 25 years. And yeah, I mean, he's really great in that movie. And it kind of doesn't make any sense why he wasn't nominated. I mean, I could get the others nominated.
Well, then isn't that enough votes? Giamatti's in then.
Yeah, Giamatti, I think is
Yeah.
in.
So
Yeah.
we're down to
We're down to one.
So it's
Who are we
Jim
between?
Carrey.
like
So like,
my vote is Bruno Ganz.
Say Jim Carrey.
okay, Josh.
You know, I think I'm actually going to say Bruno Gans.
Okay.
I love Jim Carrey in the movie too, but I do think Gans is pretty fantastic in Downfall.
It's great.
Yeah. Sophia.
I didn't want to have to reveal this, but the time has come, I suppose. One of my hottest takes is that I am not a big fan of Jim Carrey in anything.
In anything?
Not really.
Yeah,
Like he
that's
just
Ooh.
Hmm.
yeah, it's just not he's not for me usually. Um but Truman Show, if I had to pick one, I would go Truman Show.
Yeah.
I don't dislike him here, really, but it's just like it just doesn't I know people love him, but I've just never felt that for him.
Okay. So are
So
you
what's
going?
what's your
Okay,
pick?
I'll
so
go
what's your-
I'll go Bruno Gans with this group.
Okay. So is it split?
No,
No, that's
No,
three
it's
for
three
Bruno
for
Gans.
Bruno.
Three? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And I'm
Okay.
happy with that. Like, that's great.
I'm going to apply for the next season of Survivor right now.
Yeah.
Be right back.
Oh. I mean, if Dan mentioned Julie Delpy earlier, I mean, Ethan Hawke in Before Sunset's really great too.
Mhm.
But I'm not going to nominate him and not nominate her. That's kind of bullshit.
Yeah, that's big bullshit.
And I still think and that's why I wanted it to win the screenplay. The best way to reward them and Linklater would have been to give them the screenplay, but that's just, neither here nor there. Yeah, I Bruno's going to win. I would probably give it to him, or, I mean, there's not really like a big stack of, like, actress was so stacked. Can we just nominate like Nicole Kidman for something else and put her in the male category?
know.
Like it's a
We're
really
always
like,
more passionate about the actresses.
yeah. I mean,
Always is the
Shocking.
case.
Shocking.
yeah, shocking.
He's like, no one who wants to stand up for Gerard Butler, Phantom of the Opera.
No.
Look,
Nobody.
even I'm not going to do that. Even though I don't think he is as bad as people say he is, but he's still not great.
I mean, Denzel's great.
worse.
Denzel's great in Man on Fire. I'll put that out there. It's of those Tony Scott vehicles. It's one of his best performances.
Also, I will say, if we're talking biopic performances, I really love Kevin Kline in DeLovely.
Is that this year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
well, there was DeLovely, and then there was
sweet.
yeah, there was another one too.
Yeah, the
and
dueling, yeah.
yeah, the dueling musical biopics, and then Daniel Craig's great in Layer Cake, which is one of Matthew Vaughn's earlier films.
Yeah.
As well.
His Bond audition tape.
Exactly, and
Mhm.
he passed. I mean, I'm surprised nobody mentioned Colin Farrell and Alexander. No.
That would have
Hey,
been too.
I'm
I
not-
couldn't do the Jim Carrey thing and say that. That would have been too much.
I would give an award to his colorist before him, because his blonde hair is absolutely gorgeous.
If you were going to nominate somebody from Friday Night Lights, I'm surprised you didn't say Billy Bob Thornton, because I think he's phenomenal. I think he's
Lucas
really
Black is who I would have put.
Yeah, no.
Over Thornton, although Black is probably really supporting,
Yeah,
and Thornton is really the only lead.
yeah. He's good in the movie too. He's really good.
And everyone's perfect in it.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll go Bruno Gantz, and we'll go Paul Giamatti, and then we'll do Don Cheadle.
Why
They
did
didn't
you
know
say that like you were at an Italian restaurant? Paul
What?
Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't even notice that. It's late. Leonardo DiCaprio for The Aviator, and Clint Eastwood for $1 Million Baby. There you go. You want me to lean into it? I'll lean into it a little bit.
You went
Yeah.
fucking full Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, I went very Fellini there. All right.
Wow.
All right. Who are we picking here?
I'm going with Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti. All right.
I think I still say Don Cheadle.
Whoa. Okay. I love that.
I'm going to vote for Paul Giamatti.
Okay. That's 2 for Paul Giamatti. 2 Merlots. All right. No, just kidding. Erik.
I will go with Bruno Gans.
Wow.
I'm sticking it out all the way to the end, just like he did in my bunker.
Oh, God.
Listen,
my
we
God.
got this far without
Without making that joke.
Hitler, so I had to.
You had to go there. You had to go
Oh my God.
there. I don't know where to go. I kind of want to go opposite just for the game's sake, but I'm just gonna say it. And Paul Giamatti will be our winner. I would go Leonardo DiCaprio. That's just where I would go. I know everybody doesn't like it and doesn't agree with me, and that's okay.
Again, that is not true. I literally said
I like
it's
it
a good
from
performance.
the start of the movie all the way to the end of the movie, and I think it's.
Somebody's got a persecution complex that he just
I'm
loves
just
to indulge
saying,
in.
last year when everybody was going out there about like, oh, Leonardo DiCaprio's best performance, out of Cannes and stuff that about, his work in Killers of the Flower Moon. I'm like, well, you clearly didn't watch The Aviator like I did. I think he's phenomenal in it. And
Yeah, clearly, because you must have been on something when you watched it.
I've seen it like at least 20 to 30 times. It's a fantastic film.
On something new each time. That's bold, brave,
That is
bold choice.
That is mentally ill.
Paul Giamatti is our winner. Best director. Clint Eastwood, $1 Million Baby, was the winner. You have Martin Scorsese for The Aviator. Taylor Hackford, God, that's just a bad nomination. For Ray. Alexander Payne for Sideways. And Mike Lee for Vera Drake. So we can all just say Taylor Hackford can get the fuck out of here, right?
He's gone.
Yeah,
gone.
He's gone.
Eric, do you have any objections to that?
Oh no, I'm sticking with Taylor Hackford. Yes, all the way
for
to
the
end.
win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like Bruno
Yeah.
Gans, sticking with Taylor.
Basically,
Just like Helen
basically
Mirren
the
is
same.
stuck with him.
Taylor Hackford
I was
in the
gonna say,
bunker
Helen
right
Mirren's
now.
got nothing on me.
Yeah.
No, I am sorry, but he is out
stupid.
ski.
Yeah, that's
He's-
stupid.
Yeah.
It's so gross that he's here.
Who would you take anybody else out, folks?
I mean, I would take out Scorsese. I just don't.
All right, there it is.
But that's just me.
Put it on the table.
I would
But
would
we're
also consider
keeping
taking
3.
out Payne for the
Yeah,
direction.
I would take Payne out too.
Yeah.
Okay,
I would-
I am actually going to stick up for Alexander Payne here just because I think that the way that movie is directed is, I'm not going to say like it's harder than you think it is, but I think it requires more skill than people would give it credit. And the way that he is able to like kind of construct these sequences that are usually just, two people talking to each other and still keep it moving and kinetic, like that's a skill in directing. And I think that it's often an underutilized and underappreciated skill in directing. So I actually do like that he is a nominee here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree with anything you say. I just have many other people that I
Sure, and I get
would
that.
rather see that I think just did more.
Yeah, I mean, I
their
think
movie.
that style of directing also depends on how much you like the movie. And if you're just sort of like, it's good, not great, then yeah, you would want other people. But as somebody who does love the movie, that's why I think the direction is worthy to single out.
I love Sideways more than The Aviator, but I can't cut Scorsese. It is like me being stubborn. So if we have to cut 2 people, I would cut Hackford and Payne over cutting Scorsese. But again, I will own up to being stubborn.
So
I'm good with Scorsese still staying. Yeah.
I don't mind Scorsese staying either.
I'm fine with him staying if we're keeping 3. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, okay. So are we kicking out Payne, or do you want to keep him in? Because we don't have to kick anybody out either.
I say kick him out.
Oh, I say kick him out.
Okay.
But to Josh's point, it's in echoing Dan, I can't disagree with anything you said, because I mean, just earlier on, I was complaining that cinematography is just all movies that look like cinematography nominees, and directing is really similar. I look at my list and it's largely stylistic choices, which goes against the ability to create something that isn't built on a lot of aesthetic choices. But
Okay.
I do think that Eastwood covers that pretty well. But
Yeah.
I just
I'm fine with
just
it.
to defend Josh.
No,
I appreciate that.
No, I agree with you too, Josh. Again, it's just
I don't think the Sideways nomination's bad. I think it's
I
really
think
Like,
it's a
I-
good nomination.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
agree
For
with
the
you.
exercise to make it more interesting, yeah, I'm willing to say that.
Like, I
we
will
can
just say,
do
like,
that.
just if for me, like, I think that I gravitated more towards like the way Richard Linklater did almost the same thing with Before Sunrise than Payne
sense.
did with Sideways.
I get that. I get it. Okay, so we kept Eastwood, Mike Lee, and Scorsese. Yes.
Hmm.
Okay, so who are we replacing them with?
Jonathan
Or replace-
Glazer for Birth.
Okay.
If one of them is not Michel Gondry for Eternal Sunshine, I'm really gonna like throw
Yeah.
things like, because that is some of audacious directing that he does.
I would suggest that you take off your Lee press on nails and your hoop earrings out right now, Dan, because it's gonna be a fight.
Girl, they are already off.
This list is too insane of like who I
Yeah.
would throw in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Like,
a lot of good
I say him
options.
because I would absolutely want Lars von Trier in here for Dogville, but I know that's not gonna fucking happen. So
I don't know, Dan. We're having a
That is not going to
conversation.
happen.
It's not. I know. I know this crowd,
Damn
Eric.
it.
It's
Well,
you and me,
maybe,
and are the
yeah.
only two people
Yeah.
who like this movie.
Yeah, sorry, no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good movie, but
Well, I
Annie-
mean,
Annie good.
one of my choices is Glazer. That's unmovable.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of others that could join.
Mm.
I mean, obviously I would pick like Wong Kar-wai or Peter Berg, but I know those aren't realistic within the voting structure. So if I'm going,
I love Wong Kar-wai. I just think he's made better films. And,
I do too. But I'm looking at the
I get you.
opportunity of choice.
Yeah.
And David Gordon Green. But I know that strategically those make no sense for me.
Mm.
So I would probably maybe want to throw out Mark Waters for Mean Girls as an example of understanding tone and that kind of comedy.
That
really
is a
well.
movie that has really, like, the direction is much more thoughtful than you would imagine. Like, it is difficult to make that a movie like that flow
like
as well as it does. There's a lot of little details in that movie that come from the direction that make
Ironically, it's like a really glossy version of Election, which is my favorite Payne. So if I were to like kick Payne out for something like that here, it'd be kind of funny. But I think if I'm going to try and like cull together some votes, I would put Mean Girls and I would put Waters here.
I still feel very strongly about Michel Gondry though for Eternal Sunshine,
he
because I
has
do
to.
think that a lot of the success of that movie is from the way that you just construct these sequences and
Mhm.
how you replicate this idea of vanishing memory visually, and like that's all in the way that it's staged and directed. And I think that if you have an affinity for that film, it really is down to Gondry's direction. So I do feel very strongly about him as well.
The other one that I want to, this may come back to bite me in the ass, but like, I think it's kind of wrong that animated films are never considered in this category, and Brad Bird would make a very good nominee for The Incredibles.
Yeah, I'd nominate him.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
I love that nomination. I love that movie. It's
I
Bird's
also
best
want to
movie.
mention Michael Mann for Collateral.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And
Tarantino.
Tarantino. Yeah.
honestly, I really need to mention Joshua Marston for Maria Full of Grace, because that movie is insanely well directed. It has the rhythm of a thriller for like half of it. It's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
the other one that I would really throw out there, and I know it's a little bit ridiculous, but I think Fahrenheit 9/11 is one of the best pieces of propaganda filmmaking we've seen since the 1930s and 40s.
it's
And
propaganda, all right.
Michael
So
Moore
he's-
directed the
he's-
fucking hell out of it.
That feels like a Lenny Riefenstahl
No,
comparison.
the best piece of propaganda from the 30s and 40s.
I mean,
Saying.
kind of. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
it's just the wording was
you
interesting
open
there.
that decade and that's the name.
I mean, because when was the last time we got propaganda filmmaking that was any good aesthetically?
No, I mean, you're sure.
Yeah.
You're not
The pick
wrong.
for me that I know is like, this is pure chaos. Pure chaos. And I know that nobody's going to agree with me. I understand. And actually, even some days I don't necessarily agree with myself on this, but I just love the movie and actually love what he does with this material. I'm just going to say it. I love what Joel Schumacher does.
Please,
with Family.
no, I knew you were going to say
I
it,
just
Josh,
do.
and
I do.
No.
I love what he does with that. I think that he has an understanding of the theatricality of that stuff, and it's not all great. Some of that is just because it's an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical, so there's only so good it can be. But I think when that movie shines, it is incredible. I love the masquerade sequence. It's one of my favorite sequences ever put to film. Again, I know that this is just me, and I didn't say it knowing that it would get any votes, but just to give you an example of how chaotic my picks can be, that is one that I really do like. I love what Joel Schumacher does with that movie.
I would support that nomination.
I would support Schumacher nominations for other films. But,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Not
This
for
is
that
where,
one.
This is where I pull my support, Josh. I'm
Yeah.
It's
sorry.
okay. I didn't say
I
it
love
with
you,
the expectation
Josh,
that I was going to have support on it. Didn't say it for that.
I like
love
it.
you,
I think
Josh, but I do worry sometimes about your attachment to this movie.
That's all right. You got some things that you like, Dan, that I also get
That's
side
true.
eye to.
I'm sure I
so. Okay. We have to settle. We have to settle on now the two. We put a lot of names.
I mean,
up.
I feel like this is very easy.
Yeah, it
Michel
feels like
Gondry and Jonathan Glazer. I feel like that's
that feels like that's it.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
I would support. I would back both of those.
Yeah. That feels very much like our consensus.
Okay. All right. So that's Eastwood, Scorsese, Lee, Gondry, and sorry, what was the last one that we had? Glazer. So who's our
Good
winner?
thing there were no women directors this year. Goodness, what we would have done.
Anyway, who would we give the win to as a group?
Gondry.
Okay. Sophia?
Laser.
I love our two that we put in because I think Gondry, like, we've seen what happens when Charlie Kaufman directs his own movies too, and I think that the Gondry Kaufman collaboration works really nicely. So I do like that nomination, but I'm not going for anyone other than Jonathan Glazer here for Birth. I just think it's a masterpiece. It feels like an opera and a Greek tragedy, and I think it's perfect, and I love it.
Josh?
We didn't talk enough about or at all about Anne Heche and how good she is in this.
Oh yeah,
she's amazing.
Yeah.
Always in everything.
Josh?
Well, you're going to be the tiebreaker, Ryan, because my vote is for Michel Gondry.
Well, I do love to spread the vote. And, everybody hates a sweeper. So, since I went screenplay to Birth, I will go director to Michel Gondry. Nobody likes a sweeper, right?
I do kind of think
Unless
those should be
when
flipped.
it's your favorite.
I kind of feel like they should be flipped.
I mean, I don't have a
Yeah,
choice.
well, you didn't think that when you were voting for the screenplay.
No, because I just wanted to get my way the whole time. But
Thank you. Me too. But this is the dilemma of not having everything right in front of us, so that since we're creating the nominations as we go, we didn't have these nominations when Birth won. So
Yeah.
but damn, it stings a little bit, but But I get it. I really got what I wanted most of this, so how could I be unhappy?
I mean, Mike Lee would have been a good winner too, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I love
also,
Mike
I
Lee.
mean, that was where I was actually going to lean.
He'd be my
Like, I
pick
know
of the
everybody thinks-
original group.
Everybody
me
thinks
too.
I love Scorsese, and I do love Scorsese's direction, but Mike Lee's direction in that movie is phenomenal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Clint's is very good too. You know what I mean? So, but yeah,
Honestly,
down
of the
there.
Oscar nominees, I would have voted for Mike Lee.
Yeah.
all right, let's go.
Easily.
Best Picture. This is it. The final award. And my eyes see $1 Million Baby and The Aviator.
No, it would be more like, in my eyes, the Clint.
Clint, my buddy. $1 Million Baby, The Aviator, Finding Neverland, Ray, and Sideways. I think this is pretty clear. What are the
We're
two films?
obviously taking out
So-
Finding Neverland and Ray.
Yeah.
Right?
How
Very,
many
very
can we get rid
obvious.
of?
Can we get rid of more?
2004 is such a fun movie year, and then we have these 5. It's like,
I know.
Yeah.
It's very, very boring.
I mean, I like the
Finding
three that were.
Neverland and Ray.
I mean, no, those are bad movies. Well, I mean,
It's just like looking at
like,
this group
to the
of
year
five
of-
as
of
the
films,
group.
yeah.
It feels boring and not really representative
This-
of the movie as a whole.
When we have years like this is why when people say I wish we were back to 5, I'll just tell
Yeah.
them to fuck off, because sometimes this is what the 5 looks like.
Yeah, and
This is why
it's
it
real
looks like
vanilla.
this, because of a 5.
yeah.
Mhm.
And it's really and like you said, Eric, they're the most nominated films. They're very consensus picks. Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah, and so it's just like
Only
where's
3
the-
movies won 2 or more, and it's
Yeah.
from here. It's just, come on.
Yeah, that's what usually happens. That's why even when you get to expanded line above 10, most of Oscars come from films that won or are nominated for Best Picture. Okay, I mean, if the group does agree, we could eliminate one more just for fun. We can do whatever we want because it is the big category. It is Best Picture. It's the one you could break a rule. Does anybody want to do that? Eliminate one more?
Because but it would be probably be the Aviator
I-
or
yeah,
Sideways. And
I-
how are we going to come
I
to
mean,
a consensus
I am
on that?
fine. I'm fine with keeping Aviator, $1 Million Baby, and Sideways.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
good with that too.
okay. I
This
was
is
giving.
going through the-
I was.
It's going to be a
Oh,
bloodbath.
I was
but-
giving
Yes,
it.
it
I
is.
was giving you
okay,
the out.
But I don't know. I have 3 that I feel like are clear that I want to
too.
put in that have
Well, I guess,
been-
yeah, the one thing that I would say to this is that the only reason to maybe take one more out is because I do feel like I know what at least the other 2 are going to be. It's probably going to match what we did with director. So to give a little bit more variety, to get one more movie in there, I could see that too.
Okay. All right.
So what are we taking out then? What's the third one that we're taking out?
I mean, I would take out The Aviator.
I would too. If it was between $1 Million Baby, The Aviator, and Sideways. Yeah.
I'll go with the consensus on this, because just to do it. That's
Well,
what I
oh
would
wait,
do.
Eric, because
Whatever the
what if-
consensus
because
is,
what
that's
if
where I will
Ryan and
go.
I both said Sideways?
Then I'll tie break.
And he'll
Then
say
you
the-
tie break.
And he'll say and then he'll say, well, I mean,
So I'll wait.
I don't know if I kick out Sideways is actually, because Sideways is really damn good.
It's Sideways or The Aviator, Ryan. That's your choice.
I mean, what if I wanted to kick out $1 Million Baby? What if I wanted to do that?
Then The Aviator would be kicked out.
Yeah, if you
know.
want to throw your vote away, go right ahead.
Speak your truth or go, or whatnot. All right.
Play the game. Play the game.
Fine. I'll eliminate Sideways because I really want to eliminate $1 Million Baby, but I'm peer pressure. So
Okay, Eric.
Once again, Ryan, you are the one who created this rule in the first place. You are the one who created this situation. We were
I know.
fine with just leaving it with 3 movies. You were the one who said,
I was being
let's
nice.
do this now.
Well,
You
damn.
can't
Well,
complain
you
about the
you
result.
put no. I'm not.
You
I'm not
changed the
complaining
rules.
about anything. I'm like, wink, wink. Gosh, we're having
I'm a
fun.
Sorry.
spicy Josh.
We've been doing this for 3 hours now, so I get.
I will eliminate Sideways. That's the pick I choose. And Eric, it's up to you.
It's up to me. So since I would probably, if I had my druthers, get rid of both of them, and just over the course of this conversation, I would eliminate the Aviator.
Okay. All right.
And keep Sideways.
All right. It's fine.
I mean, I'd rather have both of them gone, but
there you go.
For the sake of the game, that's what I would pick.
All right. So we have 3 films now that we can replace because we kept $1 Million Baby and Sideways.
Yep.
So I think clearly we are going to keep.
We know what I'm going to say.
Put in Birth and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Yes?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yes.
And Vera Drake.
And Vera
No.
Drake.
No.
And
Oh,
Mean
Drake,
Girls.
And
We have 3 choices.
I mean, I would like The Incredibles to be nominated or
I was
Collateral.
going to throw in The Incredibles.
I love The
You know.
Incredibles or Before Sunset.
Yeah, or Before Sunset or Kill Bill.
I was going to say Kill Bill Volume
Yeah,
2.
that's another
just
one.
Yeah, Kill Bill.
Hasn't quite gotten what I thought
enough
going
love.
into this, that it was going to
Mhm.
have a lot. Like
Yeah.
Daryl Hannah would make it in. And
She
Yeah.
should have.
Well, we had
But-
some rules that we didn't expect. that
Yeah.
somebody would,
Sure.
Little
push
bit.
on
All right.
us,
Well,
so.
okay. Well, now, yeah, throw me under the bus.
No, with screenplay, I was confused there because I did want to.
Yeah, that's why.
didn't know what
Yeah,
to do
that's
with
why I
it.
brought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I brought it up. Okay. So yeah, I mean, there's The Incredibles. There's Kill Bill Volume 2. There's Collateral. There's Vera Drake.
Mean Girls.
Mean Girls.
Girls.
Closer.
Hell.
Yeah.
My side picks like Undertone, Front End Lights, not getting in. Totally get it. But
I mean, why
I will
don't we
mention them in every category anyway?
we
Yeah.
could still consider what's his face? Hitler. Downfall.
FYC. Consider.
What's his face?
Consider Hitler.
Consider Hitler. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Gee.
All
Bruno
this.
Gantz.
I am. Wait, I just looking. I'm shocked. I can't believe that we just completely wiped away the sea inside and Javier Bardem in lead act.
As we should have.
Just let it pass by without a single mention. I'm like, wow, okay.
I hate that.
Goodbye.
Well, we mentioned him now, but it's too late, and it's fine. Yeah. What does where's everybody thinking? Where does everybody want? Sophia?
I really.
Oh, Josh, go for it. Yeah.
I do kind of really want to put The Incredibles in.
Okay.
If we really are doing Birth and Eternal Sunshine as the other 2, I really want Mean Girls as the 5th.
Great.
Well, yeah. What are you talking about?
Right,
Eric?
that's what I'm saying.
If
we're
the other 2
we
are,
have 3 spots we're filling. If the
yeah.
other 2 spots we're
He's
filling,
talking
are
about- yeah.
definitely
Oh,
Eternal
are
Sunshine
they
and
definitely?
Birth.
Is Eternal
I
Sunshine
I
definitely?
feel like
Dang, like I
given the
feel
tenor
like
of the conversation, I feel like they're in.
I
It's
love
not
Vera
it's-
Drake.
It's not in mine. So
Which
unless
is
it's-
not.
Unless it's in.
I mean, well,
it's
what
not
is-
locked in there.
in Eternal Sunshine, I would be in support of that.
me too.
Okay, so that's
yeah.
you and Dan. Sophia, are you Eternal Sunshine?
I'm not a huge Eternal Sunshine person, but I also feel like a lineup without it just feels wrong.
I feel like I've made the nice concessions to have both of your films in, and so like I was
What
the
do-
third
what do you
vote
want, a
for
medal?
for Birth, right?
No, I don't know what you want me to do. I was just
No,
saying
no,
that
and
thought
then I
Eternal
helped
Sunshine
the
was
Eternal
good.
Sunshine for Dan and Josh.
Wait a
So-
minute. Wait a minute.
What's going
Now
on
I see.
here?
Now I see. Because you knew. All right, Ryan. Now I get what you were doing. Because you
Yeah.
knew that the
Mhm.
consensus probably would be Eternal Sunshine and Birth. So you did this situation so you could have the last word.
I
on
don't
this
know
final
what you're talking
nominee
about,
because you're
Joshua.
so
That's
generous
Yep.
and so gracious.
I
All right.
just want my
Now I see
friends
what you're
to
doing.
have the
All right.
movies they love in
What's
there.
the last one that we're going to
Birth
put in
is
here
the
because it's
movie
the
I
one that you
love.
picked?
Yeah.
What is it?
I
Wait,
mean,
are we accusing Ryan of playing a good long game through
Yeah.
this? I don't know.
I mean, the Aviator is gone.
yeah,
Wait, okay, wait.
exactly.
Wait.
And I
So wait.
There's something else
sacrificed
that he
it to the
wants.
lamb.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Hold on. So how are we doing this by like we're
I
all
don't
going
know.
to like throw as many titles out there and then we all just vote for however many? Do we each get 2 vote or 3 votes and
A
then
preferential
tally them
ballot?
up? How are we doing this?
Well, that's
Ryan?
why I was trying to
How are we
trying to
doing this?
gauge who
Yeah.
was going to be
My
putting
God.
in Eternal Sunshine, and if I had the votes or if I didn't have the votes. So
I mean,
that
I would
knew
be-
where
I
to
mean,
go next.
I mean, the passion that Josh
Because
and Dan
who's on Team
have,
Birth
and-
besides Sophia and myself?
I mean, I love Birth, and I helped it get a screenplay win, and I think that Kidman is fantastic, and I think it's and Glazer
Ryan,
is a
Ryan,
singular
do
director.
Do you need a favor for that last pick? Do you need support?
I'm just saying, like
is that what I'm hearing?
it just feels like the two
And
factions.
if you vote for Birth, that your other choice is something that maybe Sophia and I might want to support. Is that what I'm hearing?
I mean, maybe, like that's
Can
something
everyone
that-
just vote for their top 3 favorite movies?
Yeah.
How about that? Like
what would that pick be, Ryan?
I mean, like
Let's
it would
have that
probably.
conversation.
I mean, like it would probably be something like either, The Incredibles or Kill Bill Volume 2 would be something I would
Well,
consider.
what would your top 3 be? Like if you just had to vote for 3 to
Well,
get in.
we eliminated. Well, if I'm just doing my top 3 films of the year.
no,
Right?
the
No,
top
no, no.
3
Oh.
fill in
Just like
these
to
3
get in,
spots.
to get in.
Choices
you
for
want.
this.
Oh.
Yeah.
God, everybody yelling at me. Either Before Sunset, Kill Bill Volume 2, or The Incredibles. That's what I
Okay,
would
stop.
select.
Josh, what are your 3?
My 3 would be Eternal Sunshine, The Incredibles, and Kill Bill.
Okay, Sophia,
Birth, Vera Drake, and Mean Girls.
Eric.
Birth, Vera Drake, and Friday Night Lights.
Okay, and I'm Eternal Sunshine, Mean Girls, and Before Sunset.
I love how we did that, and it got us nowhere close.
No,
Actually,
it got us 1.
I didn't put that in any order. I just said 3 films.
it
That
doesn't. The order doesn't matter.
Well, yeah.
No, but
We're-
one
we're-
movie
we're
did
trying
get
to-
3, and that was Eternal Sunshine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
I
did.
also would then say that the faction for Birth is strong enough.
Yeah,
The
that's what
passion
I'm.
for it is
This
still
is
strong
what I've
enough.
been saying this whole time. I'm like the
Yeah, I
Eternal
know. We're just
Sunshine.
explaining it
Yeah, I
just
get
to
like.
be
I
clear,
think that
yeah.
Birth should get in because by the way that we've done the wins
Yeah.
and everything,
It had
should,
the second most.
it had this,
Yeah.
and it should get in. And I think that Eternal Sunshine, I would vote as if we're just doing it out of 5. I would vote that in because it has wins and it has support, and we put it in director and we gave.
And
it a
what
screen.
is your pick for the last spot then, Ryan?
Well, wait,
No,
but
it
if we're
doesn't have
doing
to
by
be
what we
my
just
pick.
did, the third pick is Vera Drake because it had 2 votes.
Well, so did Kill Bill.
Mean
and-
Girls had 2 votes.
and so did Mean Girls.
I mean Girls. Okay, so it's Mean Girls, Vera Drake, and
Oh, the
Incredibles.
and the Incredibles and
Incredibles.
Kill Bill. Oh, they all had 2
All had
votes.
2?
Yeah.
All right.
so
So-
now we're limited to
1.
one choice of those 4, and
Yes.
that becomes our last
Man,
nomination.
my head hurts. Yeah, man.
No, this is great. This is as
Like a
as George
congressional whip
Bush
session
himself
here.
said, this is strategery.
Yeah. there you go. See, this is much more lively than the ones we've done in the past.
Yeah,
So
it's
there you
fun.
go.
That's
Um,
for sure.
okay, Sophia, of what are the 4 films again? Dan, just like to say them out loud. That you,
Hold on.
it's Mean Girls,
Vera Drake, Mean Girls,
Kill Bill, and The
Incredibles.
Incredibles.
Kill Bill, and The Incredibles.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So
We each
Sophia?
get 1 vote.
we each get 1
Yep.
vote.
This is really hard because I would love to nominate Mean Girls, but I have to go Vera Drake.
Okay, Dan,
I say Mean Girls.
all right. Josh.
My vote is The Incredibles.
Okay. Eric.
Vera Drake.
Jesus. All right.
Ryan, are you putting it
Aviator-
to another tie, or are you going to
It-
peer pressured?
It would be another tie because The Incredibles also has 4 other nominations. I would not, I would
Okay.
nominate The Incredibles for this category.
Okay, so Vera
Animation
Drake
is
now
cinema,
another round.
folks.
Vera Drake
Yeah.
or The Incredible.
Yeah.
This is great. It's now we're at the fire making challenge.
Oh,
my God.
Animation is
Let's
cinema,
go.
folks. Just putting that out there.
I'm feeling flinty.
Okay. So Sophia,
Vera Drake.
well, yeah. And so Josh, Incredibles.
Incredibles.
I'll go Incredibles. And Eric,
Vera Drake.
Vera Drake.
All right, Dan.
And then
Up to
now it's down to
you.
Dan. By process of
I
elimination,
hate
it's all
this
gone down to Dan.
so
Mike
much.
Lee. Mike Lee.
I hate this so much. I hate this so much.
I mean,
mean,
remember, it's like groundbreaking.
everybo-
Animated
I-
movies don't get in here very often.
I mean, think about that. We have a split in director and picture from the Academy. We could do that here too. That would be kind of cool.
Oh.
Man, we really
Okay,
we broke
look.
Dan.
Dan, I'll give you whatever review you want for the rest of the year.
Jesus Christ, Dan, I'm not gonna edit that out of the podcast.
I,
Oh.
okay. Okay. Looking at the other things that we have nominated collectively for those 4 spots, The Incredibles.
Yes. Animation.
Yeah.
Women's rights.
I know. The
Look.
way that Dan is
I'm just
so
kidding.
anti-abortion right now. Wow.
The way that I am so pro women having jobs outside of the home.
I mean,
The way that I am all about
Strong
Edna
teener-
Mode and
yeah.
that fabulosity. Like
strong
come
teenage
on.
girls. Yeah. Come on, Mike.
I really what did tip the thing over is every scene that Edna Mode is in The Incredibles is just some of the best cinema.
Okay, legitimately, I wanted to nominate.
Brad Bird for
Brad
supporting.
Bird for-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It just
Really,
feels
really
wrong,
wanted
though.
I am happy
Like,
with that. And The Incredibles is my favorite Pixar movie. So, and
It's
It's
mine
a
too.
really good movie.
it's a very
Dan,
good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we have, after all that, listeners, $1 Million Baby and Sideways. We have The Incredibles. We have Birth and Eternal Sunshine for the Spotless Mind. Okay.
now that's a
Of
group
the
of
Spotless
5.
Mind. Yeah. Now
Yeah.
that's a pretty good group of
Yeah.
5. Because also too, you got one of the highest grossing films of the year that everybody saw too in there. It's opposed to like the other lineup. It's good mix. Yeah. Okay. What are we giving Best Picture to? Sophia. I wonder what you're
Earth.
gonna pick. Yeah.
It's my favorite movie of 2004. So I've come this far. I'm sticking with it.
Man, someone's a real Oppenheimer obsession over here. like me. Birth.
It's just what, some voters, they just
They just vote down the ballot, yeah.
That's what I was saying. It was really funny that you were saying everybody hates a sweeper, Ryan.
Yeah, well, no,
because,
I was
like,
well. It's like Sophia always tells you, she's like, I like to have it spread out and everything, and then she's like, no, Birth. Yeah, I want Birth everywhere. So that's what I was alluding to. Dan, your pick.
no, I get it because, like I said, I think Eternal Sunshine
Sunshine
is
is
maybe the
spotless.
best film of that decade. It's easily my vote. Yeah.
Josh Parham.
For me, this is very close between Eternal Sunshine and Sideways, and I'm going to give my vote to Eternal Sunshine.
Okay. Erik Anderson.
I am not wavering from my day one alliance.
Thank you.
Tribe mates from the moment that we got off the boat and put our feet in the cinematic sands.
Please bring in the snake and the rat, please.
Oh my
yeah.
Please, I'm waiting. I need it.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
We do really need like a Suhawk tribal, just an absolute endowment.
So I'm assuming, Eric, you're picking
That bitch.
Birth.
Ryan.
All comes down to me. Well, usually we have picture director splits, right?
I'm just saying, remember who was supporting keeping the Aviator in this lineup.
Sure, but it's still not there.
That's not my fault.
I'm not.
That's someone else's fault who you could potentially vote again.
No, I would not do that. I'm not that person.
Never.
No, honestly, I do like both of these movies. But I like Jonathan Glazer more, and I think Birth is Glazer's one of my guys. Has
you like
been
Glazer
for a long,
more,
long time.
But do you like the other film more? I don't understand what you're saying.
I like the other film a lot. I haven't seen it in a long time. I mean, it was one of those movies that I had a lot going on this week, so I was not able to get to the rewatch for that. And it was a top priority. And maybe this does change over time, but I remember really, really loving it. But also, I was really young when I watched it, and so sometimes time and stuff changes. And Birth is more on my mind, and that is a movie that I think people at the time were very against, and it has had this, this reevaluation, especially because of Under the Skin and now Zone of Interest. And I think Glazer is a singular voice. There's not many like him. I mean, it's going to probably be another 10 goddamn years till we get, or 20 years maybe, even until we get his next movie. But it's like, and I love Kaufman and I love Gondry and what they did, but it's also like, Spike Jonze can do it better too. A little bit, the slight edge, I would give it over to Birth and give it the win here. So
I'll say this about Birth, that movie is one that I literally have not stopped thinking about since the day that I saw it in probably 2005 or 6. But it is, and this is just how good his filmography is it is my least favorite of Jonathan Glazer's movies.
I don't think he has a bad movie.
Yeah, he doesn't have a bad movie.
He's batting 1,000 like Spike Jonze.
He is, yeah.
Those are two directors. I'm like, man, it's an event when you make something, and then everything you've made hits me right there. So, Birth, big winner. Eternal Sunshine, big winner. We like two movies, just like the Academy. It was a good reevaluation or good look back. I think of really fun style we did this, and I think we're going to be maybe doing this again down the road, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
I promise to be less hostile. In the future. I apologize.
Absolutely not.
No.
No, Josh.
If I have a movie I'm sticking with,
all you listeners out there know we love each other. We're very passionate about what we love. And so, when we're going to be doing a couple more of these throughout the year, we're going to get into the 90, because there's 99 and 94, but then there's also the 80s and then the 70s. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll all be level headed when we do 1974, and some of those wonderful movies from that year.
74, that's going to be one. I'm just going to sit back and listen to Sophia.
I'm just gonna whatever she says.
79 too.
I will split my votes there because I love so many from that year.
99, I think, is going to be
that's
99.
99.
We might have to do. I know we did 2 for this.
That might need to be a 2-parter. That is going to be
yeah.
It's going to be a long episode, and that
99 is insane.
That might also have to be 3 replacements or more. Maybe we might have to do the full replacement.
Maybe for 99, we may just have to go back to the old way of doing it.
We can
No.
already eliminate Cider House rules in every category right now.
That's
just
fair.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
yeah.
before we
Here's the
even
thing, like
get there.
99, great year, but it is not
Weird
representative
Oscars.
in that Oscar lineup.
No,
so
no. Yeah.
we may need to get rid of more people and,
Yeah.
and options there.
I do like to keep some of the nominees though,
Mhm.
just because it still should reflect.
It does make it
the
fun.
Oscars. Yeah, it does. It makes it makes our choices that much harder and much more interesting. Anyway, Dan Bear, can you tell everybody where they can find you and all your work on the internet?
Absolutely. You can find me on Twitter at Dance and Dan on Film, on Letterboxd and Post at Dance and Dan, and also writing at AwardsWatch and Next Best Picture.
Josh Parham.
You can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at JR Parham, and you can find all my work over at Next Best Picture and AwardsWatch.
Sophia Ciminello.
You can find me on Twitter at Sophia_Sim, Letterboxd, same handle without the underscore. You can find my podcast, Oscar Wilde, on Twitter and Instagram, Oscar Wilde Pod, and wherever you find your podcasts. We will be back in a few weeks with our season 5 premiere covering The Godfather Part 2, which will be very fun. And then you can find all of my writing, reviews, interviews, and more podcasts at AwardsWatch.
Erik Anderson.
Oh my God. Yes, please find us and me at awardswatch.com. It's a little quiet right now as we're sort of in this post-Oscar and post-South by lull, as I think a bit of April will be, but we will have Emmy coverage soon, as well as just regular weekly reviews. But yeah, you can find me there. You can find me at Twitter at awards_watch and AwardsWatch everywhere else. And the newsletter maybe once a week if there's enough news to print.
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Ryan McQuade 77. You can find all my work here at awardswatch.com. If you like podcasts, you really should be listening to this one every single week. But then you should also be listening to Director Watch, as we're just about to start a brand new movie series. We are going to be talking about one of Josh Parham's favorite directors. We're going to be talking about the films of Sofia Coppola. And our first episode this week drops, and it is about the Virgin Suicides, one of the great films from the year 1999, right? So looking forward to that. We're going to have a ton of guests on. Sophia is going to be one of our guests, and we made a Twitter announcement this past Friday about all the great guests that we're going to have on there. Jay and I are really looking forward to diving into those movies and discussing those on the show. If you haven't already listened to some of our previous episodes, especially the one recently about the K Mutiny Court Martial that came out last week, was the end of the William Friedkin movie series, go ahead and go listen to that. That was a great series. We had a lot of fun doing that one. Erik's right, the newsletter, go sign up for it. He occasionally likes to do it, so that'd be like an email drop from like Erik middle of the week that you never know about.
And it's really only 1 or 2. It's not like 10 a day like other outlets do.
Yeah, it's just like here you go, Wednesday and Friday, maybe if I get to it, if I'm around, if I want to.
Well, like I said, if there's enough news fit to print.
Yeah, if not, we're just gonna send you an email anyway and go, hey. Anyway,
hey, how's it going? You
yeah.
guys doing all right?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, how's it going? Next week we will be back here. We will be doing a retrospective review. Speaking of movies for 1999, for the 25th anniversary of The Matrix, and then we will be also talking about our favorite 90s action movies. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to talk about that next week. Thank you all so much for listening. And we'll see you all next time.